Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx. And tonight's going to be something a little bit different. I'm your host, Edward Euler, and tonight we are featuring the Whodunit co-op that is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, Jack the Ripper, and the West Side Adventures. Designed by Suzanne Goldberg, Gary Grady, and Jerome, let's go that way, Ropart, and published by Asmodee. So, welcome everybody watching live around the world on Caffeine, as well as after the fact over on YouTube. So, awesome, right? It's our first stream here. So, as I said, I'm your host, Edward, and the crew.
Howdy, Gov. Sweater Mycroft here.
Amanda Euler, co-host of Heavy Cardboard.
Matt, or Matty RT for the evening.
Sinister.
All right, so before we get started, a big thanks to everybody, like I said, watching, as well as to our 641 patrons who helped make this possible. So today we wanted to give a shout out over to Dustin S. So thanks, Dustin, for going the extra mile and being a patron and helping make all this possible. So that said, welcome to Heavy Cardboard. So tonight, a co-op, which is something we never play, actually.
Nope.
Until last week. The four of us got together. We decided, you know what, let's go ahead and try this. So we started with case number 5 and solved that. Scored 40 points, which on a scale of 0 or negative to 100,
yeah.
I'll take 40
It
points.
was positive.
Right, exactly, right?
We learned things.
Yes.
All right, so tonight we're going to be doing case number 6. So here is your preemptive. If you have Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective and you don't want case 6 ruined for you, we'll see y'all later.
We'll see you after you play it.
Okay, so there are going to be spoilers. We are going to try and solve this case. So there are 10 cases in this game, and this is number 6. Now, we've already solved number 5. We're going to use the newspaper that's a part of number 5. However, we are going to do our best to not mention anything regarding case number 5 unless there's something in the newspapers that spoil 5. So we don't know. We haven't gone into case 6 yet. So we're going to be learning live with you guys. That said, how we're going to do this is Mike's going to start out by kind of giving an overview on what the premise of the game is. Then from there, I will run you guys through basically how this is going to play. And then from there, we're going to try and solve the case, and we're going to go to y'all for help with this. So if you've solved this, please don't ruin it for the rest of everybody. If you haven't, play along. This will be fun. Sound about right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So if Friday, I would real quick, if you guys are having any kind of connection issues or anything, I would recommend definitely rebooting or restarting Caffeine or refreshing the stream, whether it's on the phone or on the app. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So Mike, go ahead.
All right, here's the objective of the game. You take on the role of members of the unofficial gang of the Baker Street Irregulars, founded by the famous Sherlock Holmes to keep him informed about the word on the street and to help him in mysterious cases. This book contains 10 mysterious cases which will be up to you to solve. 4 of these cases, books 1 through 4, form the Jack the Ripper campaign and may allow you to catch the famous serial killer. The other 6 cases are unconnected. For each case, you'll have a series of leads to follow, a map of London, a directory, and the local press. You also have a list of informants which may contain some very qualified people who will assist you in your research, medical examiner, criminologist, sources, etc. Armed with all these elements and with your imagination, You'll walk the streets of London looking for clues which will allow you to solve the enigma and answer a series of questions about the case. But nothing's ever as simple as it seems, and you will have to be wise if you don't want to be ridiculed during your final confrontation with Holmes. Will you surpass the master?
All right, so as you can see, case number 6, the murder of Sherlock Holmes. So let's go ahead and zoom out and show you guys what we're going to be looking at tonight. All right, so yeah, that'll work. All right, so what we have here is we have the actual case book. Inside the case book is going to tell us all the info that we're going to need regarding the case here, okay? At the very back, and I'm going to briefly show this, right there, those on that page are the questions that we're going to have to answer at the end. The answers are all in that envelope right there. So all of this are the different clues and locations that we may be able to visit regarding this. Here we actually have the actual map of London, as you guys can see right there. Now this is as it was in 1898, thereabouts. On the back side of this is the map of Whitechapel, which is for cases 1 through 4, which are Jack the Ripper, which Paul Grogan of Gaming Rules, a good friend of ours, suggested do those last. So therefore we are doing those last. So here we go. Case number 6, there. We have the London directory. So what this is it's going to have an alphabetical listing of various people's names and their locations here on the map. So the map itself is broken down into a handful of different areas. These areas are going to be signified. We have the Northwest, we have
West Central,
the West Central, East Central, the Southeast, and the Southwest. So those areas are, so whenever we say, you know, WC4, we're going to find number 4 wherever in here. And this is actually on plexiglass so that we're able to write, so you guys will be able to follow along. All right? So the London directory, Matt's going to pretty much run that. Mike is going to be our note taker for this. And also on the right-hand side over there, you're going to notice that there are a couple of newspapers. So the 2 newspapers, this is the one that started out in case number 5. This one, and you'll notice the dates, September 13th, 1898. This one, September 16th, 1898, which is when this case takes place. So we have access to this one, and we have access to this newspaper. Now, there's going to be things in these newspapers that have absolutely nothing to do with the case.
Yes.
The red herrings, if you will. We have not explored the Pall Mall Gazette at all, so we will do that together along with you guys. So we have, and we'll be reading through it and showing you guys how all that works. Then we have a list of informants in the back of this book. So here we have a list of informants and the different locations, and these we'll be able to go and visit if we ever get stuck in regards to certain things, or maybe we want to see or hear about the autopsies or whatever that may be the case. So we're going to be going through that as well. Then pretty much that's about it. So I'll do a brief overview, then Mike will go ahead and read the case, and we'll zoom out, we'll bring up the cameras, and we'll get ready to rock and roll. So we're all going to cooperate to solve the case, and the game plays over a series of turns. The lead investigator, so out of the 4 of us, we'll have the challenge coin here to signify who's going to be the lead investigator for a given turn. They're going to be the final decision maker. If we're at an impasse between the chat and ourselves, they make the final decision. Once one lead has been investigated, then we'll pass this clockwise around the table. If the lead doesn't exist in the book, well, choose a different lead because we chose poorly. Apparently it's a non-factor. When they found the lead, the player reads the paragraph out loud, then notes the lead has been followed, and we'll keep track of it again. Mike will be doing that. Then pass the book to the player sitting on their left, etc., so on and so forth. Once we feel we have solved the game. The players can decide to stop following leads as soon as we want to. They then move on to the questions section of the case and answer 2 series of questions given to them. Players then head over to the solutions section, and one of them reads Holmes's conclusions out loud. Finally, the players open the envelope and evaluate their score and compare it to Holmes. So Sherlock Holmes scores 100 points. There's no way we're going to come anywhere close to 100 points. Our goal is just to be able to solve the whodunit. That's the most important thing. We're going to get, Holmes is going to have followed a certain amount of leads. For every lead that we follow more than Holmes did, we subtract 5 points. For every one short, we add 5 points to our score. And so, for instance, if we followed 8 leads and scored 95 points by answering the 2 sets of questions, and they realized that Holmes has, for his part, finished the case with 6 leads, we followed 2 extra leads, deduct 10 points total, which means 85 points. And that's it. So, they say it is possible to beat Holmes. I don't necessarily believe that, but yeah. So that's it. So any questions here in the peanut gallery? And let's see. Do we know what questions are asked? No, it's going to be whatever pertinent to the case.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that said, let's go and bring up the cameras there, and you know what, Mike, go ahead. Begin the case.
Righto. The West End, 6th case, the murder of Sherlock Holmes, Friday, September 16th, 1898. This is going too far, Watson. Holmes was pacing the room while reading a newspaper when he shouted and threw the newspaper at the doctor's feet. I tolerate your stories in the Strand, despite it bringing me abundant mail, which interferes. They have also brought you a few interesting cases, Watson interrupts him, his face crimson. I can especially no longer show myself in public. That last time we went to Albert Hall, I was getting more attention than... The public is showing you its affection and respect. Poppycock! And what about that tobacco merchant who sells a cigar with my name? He sends you a box every month, says Watson, while motioning at the pile of cigar boxes next to the fireplace. They aren't very good, sighs Holmes. Watson and he break out in laughter. I'm sorry, my friend, I must be getting old, but the idea of a play based on my adventures seems to be the straw that broke the camel's back, especially when the main role is played by an American. The door opens abruptly under Wiggins' push as he enters with a determined step, followed by a young man. Out of breath, he had clearly climbed the 17 steps leading to Holmes' living room at full speed. Mr. Holmes, I am in need of your help, shouts Wiggins. Calm yourself. My help is, of course, yours. What do you want? Who is that young man? It's Billy, your groom. Billy, get a hold of yourself. Wiggins, Billy left London years ago. He's a policeman in Oxford. No, his name is Charlie. I mean, he plays Billy's role in the play about you. Very well. What happened? You've been killed. Really? Again? Wiggins corrects himself. Mr. Razor, the American actor who has your role, has been killed, and Billy's brother has been arrested. And who's that? Me. He plays the role of me. Charlie begins talking. I should explain what happened, Mr. Holmes. Wiggins has suffered a shock, and it seems the police don't like him very much.
All right, so real quick, before you go any further, spell razor, because we ran into this problem in the previous case.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
R-A-Z-O-R.
Z-O-R. Okay. So, all right, continue.
Excellent point.
And by the way, I want to preface one more thing. So, again, Paul Grogan edited all of these cases, and he told us that there is, at no point does anybody mention where the theater is, what theater it is. And so there's some hint in this intro as to what theater it is, and apparently
Where
that's
this
an
play
important
is?
yeah,
Okay.
and it's an important aspect.
Okay.
So,
All right.
all right, here we go.
Lestrade, says Wiggins, rolling his eyes to the sky. Answers Holmes. Resume your telling of events, Charlie. Today the costume rehearsal was being held. The premiere is happening in 2 days. Well, with Holmes's death, nothing's for certain anymore. Charlie's gaze is filled with sadness. I do wish you'd stop talking about the actors by using the name of their character. It's not only disturbing, but it's also disconcerting to hear the details of one's own murder being repeated. Holmes punctuates that remark with a wide smile, which puts Charlie at ease. Yes, sir, approves Charlie. It's an actor's habit to remain in character. We spent the morning going over the play. The director, Mr. Betancourt, wanted to B-E-T-T-E-N.
T-T-E-N?
Okay. C-O-U-R-T.
C-O-U-R-T. And he's the director?
Yes.
Okay.
The director, Mr. Betancourt, wanted to rehearse Act 2 after lunch. Most of the actors had gathered on stage to listen to Mr. Betancourt's remarks. It was 1:45 when we heard a shot ring out from backstage, and then the shout of a woman. We rushed backstage into Razor's dressing room. Sidney was leaning over Razor's body, a pistol in his hand. Razor was dead.
Sidney?
Sidney, S-Y-D-N-E-Y.
Okay.
And the woman who shouted, asks Holmes. Jean Berain, a costume maker for Maria Leslie, J-E-A-N. B-E-R-A-I-N.
B-E-R-A-I-N?
A-I-N. Not going to make that mistake a third time, are we?
Okay, all right.
She ran into Razor's dressing room when she heard the shot. She declared that Sidney was already there with the pistol in his hand. That sounds like a bad start, said Holmes. I know, sir, but I'm sure that my brother didn't kill Mr. Razor. He's incapable of killing anyone. I'm sure of that. For the first time, emotion floods Charlie's voice. Charlie's right. Sidney isn't a killer, Mr. Holmes. You must help us, adds Wiggins. I have no choice but to solve my own murder. I'll look into this case more closely, Charlie. I'll ask Mr. Hall to contact your brother in Newgate to order him to be freed, but from what you've told me, it won't be simple. Holmes goes to Charlie and lays a paternal hand on the young man's shoulder. Don't worry, if your brother is innocent, we'll prove it. Go home and get some rest. After Charlie's departure, we sit around the round oak table to talk in front of a coffee. I didn't want to say anything in front of Charlie, Wiggins, but this case seems to be off to a bad start. Is there anything more that you could tell us that could help? I'm afraid not, sighs Wiggins. How many people were there in the theater when the shot was fired? The whole team were there, as well as Mr. Betancourt, the director. There was also Jean Berain, Richard Essex, the stage manager.
Okay, hold on. Richard Essex?
Essex.
E-S-S-E-X?
Correct.
Stage manager. Okay.
And Brian Smith, the doorman.
Okay, go ahead.
Wiggins hands the program to Holmes. A scandal in Bohemia, Watson. Watson, I recognize your style. Holmes didn't shout, but his voice went higher. He gives the program to Watson, as if it was proof of a perpetrated misdeed. I didn't see anything wrong in them using my writing, answers Watson with a timid voice. The public loves that story. You even agreed when I told you about it. You've always been able to get me to agree to anything, Watson. Or maybe it's my vanity, which is greater than I'd like to admit. How did you become a character in this story, Wiggins? I don't remember you being a part of that adventure. I was added for dramatic effect, Mr. Holmes. Mr. Razor took a lot of liberties with the original story. Wiggins' answer causes a motion of Holmes's head. And why aren't you playing your own role? I didn't match the character. This answer triggers a smile on Holmes's face. Come with me, Wiggins. Let's go solve this case. As we look about to follow them, Holmes cuts us short. Why don't you stay with Watson, my friends? I'm in the mood for my actions not to be part of the front page of the shows section this time. We'll meet up at the denouement. A deathly silence floats in the room after the departure of Holmes and Wiggins. No matter, we'll investigate the case ourselves, exclaims Watson as he rushes for the exit. We follow him with a little assured step, wondering if we're not missing important information for the rest of the adventure.
All right. Up where?
Three things. One, the name before Richard Essex was what?
The name before Richard Essex? Searching.
It was just before.
I believe it's the one you had written down already, but
Brian Smith, the doorman.
Got it. That's after Richard Essex.
Oh, before Richard Essex
Yes.
is Jean Berain.
Okay, we already got
Yeah.
that. Okay. And Amanda brought up, what was that? The location?
They're gonna meet
They're gonna
where?
meet where?
We'll meet up at the denouement, which is the end of the case, where we
Oh.
answer
Gotcha.
the questions.
All right, so the last thing that I want to point out. So we can always freely reference all of this. This here, the Scandal in Bohemia, that's the case that they were, the play that it was. So I didn't hear anything that clues us in as to the location of the theater. However,
Does it say?
Except
I
that
did.
right there.
I did, yep.
you wrote it. Royal Albert Hall is a theater.
Yes.
it is.
Yeah, but that's
I
not
also-
where they were talking about being there at another point. They were
Right.
talking about this.
I want to know, what is that, DLT?
Yes.
Okay, so DLT. Okay, all right. So at this point,
Yeah, they were just saying the last time we went to Albert Hall, I was getting more attention than.
gotcha. Okay, all right.
The
So-
last
The last time, why would he say that if it wasn't? That's where this is.
Okay, Ryan says, I thought I heard the pistol in Razor's hand, not Sydney's. Razor's the one who's dead,
Yeah.
right? So Sydney was the one who
Sydney
was,
had the
pistol.
in his hand.
Okay, so here's what I think we should do to start: is go into the directory, find all these people, find out where they live, and
Indeed.
go from there.
I would
Okay.
agree with that.
All right.
capital idea, sir.
Oh, Rob says Drury Lane Theater? Question mark. Drury Lane. See if that's in there. Let's start there. DLT. Just. And the nice thing about
This
the
is all
plexiglass-
people's, not all people's names.
No, it's not.
No, that is not in there.
Okay.
I'm
all right.
guessing that's DRU.
DLT. Your Drury DRU.
Drury Lane Theater. Yeah, there it is. 31 WC.
31 WC. 31.
33, 31.
Right there. So that could be the scene of the murder.
Also, where the Muffin Man lives.
This is the DLC.
Or DLT, yes. All right. So Mr. Razor, let's find out where he died. Okay.
Well, he died. Well, if that's where it happened, that's where he died. But
Oh, where he lived.
where he lived, however,
Razor, RAZOR.
he was an American actor. He may have been on loan.
Let out in some flea-bitten...
Only
Yeah,
board
it-
games with DLC in the Descent 2.0.
Yeah, I don't see Razor in here.
Okay. Betancourt, although he obviously was not the murderer, since he was on stage
He was
with
the
the rest of
director.
the troupe, right?
Uh-huh.
So might as well find out where he lives, though. Betancourt, Bettencourt.
There's only one Betancourt in here, and his first name is Graham, which may
Yes.
also be good.
That is him.
That is him. Okay.
Okay.
69 Southeast.
69, right there. That is southeast, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's Betancourt. Sydney. Did we
We
get
don't
a
have
last
a
name
we don't have a
here?
last name on
Chaplin.
Sydney.
Okay.
But you do there.
Okay. So have any of you guys watching, have any of y'all played this before? I'm not saying this case in particular, but just Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective in general. Okay, E says he's played one case.
Yep, I see a Chapman Chapel, but no
CHAPLIN.
no Chaplin.
Okay. Jean Berain, BERAIN. Okay, cool.
I'm going to guess she's not in there.
No brain in there.
Okay. Essex, ESSEX.
The stage manager. He should be a resident of London, as should the doorman.
Hey, Reza, welcome.
There's an Alan Essex and a Michael Essex,
Nope.
but no Richard.
No Richard?
Essex.
Okay. Brian Smith.
That'd be Smith, not.
Hey, Kleiker. Okay, Vince. Very cool.
Smith Brenda, Smith James. That's all we
Okay.
got.
All right.
My
So right
goodness.
now,
Smith Smith.
Brian.
Yeah.
No?
As Smith William, I think.
No.
Not Bill.
Okay.
All right, so where are we going?
Very nice, Rob. All
Where are we
right.
going, Captain?
So, now, just going off of the clue that is this, as far as the DLT, a play in 3 acts by William Razor. Okay, so William Razor was not in there. So we now know, we think we know, where the murder took place.
Definitely.
There. And Betancourt is the director, but we know he was on stage. Now, our other options, and I'll just briefly go over these just so we can reference back for those that have not played here. So here we go. We have Sir Jasper Meeks. He's the medical examiner. He performs autopsies on all bodies found during the cases. Do you want to mark these?
Certainly.
Okay. 38 EC. 30 right there.
Okay.
And that's just,
The
yeah, the ME. All right, then H.R. Murray at 22 Southwest. He's a criminologist, so items and substances found during the case. 22 Southwest.
23,
Right there.
22.
That's criminologists. Scotland Yard is 13 Southwest, which, okay. And that's going to be reports and details relating to the case. Then Disraeli O'Brien, 14 WC. And this is the archivist, compiles ancient legal and criminal documents. Then we have 17 WC, which Somerset House. 7 right there. And this is archive of births, deaths, marriages, wills to be consulted freely. But that doesn't mean they don't count against you, just you can reference that at any time.
Tell me about the Office of Records up here.
Ancient legal and criminal documents,
Okay.
archives.
Okay.
Is there any way to see how many people are currently watching? It is for us, but not you guys. Downside to exploring all the areas, yes, it does negatively affect our score. Arcanum, it does, all right?
The fewer leads, the better.
Correct. So that's Somerset House. Okay, Edward Hall is the lawyer at the Old Bailey, 36 EC. 36. That's 37.
36.
Okay. That's going to be information on court cases and legal affairs. Then 52 EC is going to be Edward Hall, the lawyer at the Old Bailey, source of information on court case. I'm sorry. Hold on.
That sounded familiar.
Right. Raven and Rat Pub, all illegal affairs and underworld
45?
figures. 52 EC. 52.
50, 51, 52.
Okay. So that's the underworld.
Okay.
Then Henry Ellis is 30 EC. The London Times, current events, and foreign affairs.
Newspaper.
35 EC is Quentin Hogg, journalist with the Police Gazette, information on criminal cases. 35 EC.
It has to be like right here. Or it doesn't. 35.
Yep,
WC.
that's it. Yep.
Oh, no.
No,
That's good.
there's
So it's
that
inside.
blue line. Yeah,
Ah.
we're good. Yep.
35. And this is again?
Babe.
What? 35 EC. That's the Police Gazette.
Okay.
And apparently Mike is at 8 Southwest. Mycroft Homes. Right here.
The Diogenes Club.
That's
Of course, that's where he's at. Where else would he be?
Duh.
right. Government and politics there. Then Langdale Pike is 2 Southwest. Right here. That is rumors through London Society. Now, also should note that this timeline right here is game travel. That right there is 15 minutes. So this way, if somebody's story doesn't add up, we can use that. That's why we're marking all of these as well. The Central Carriage Depot, 5WC. 5WC.
5.
Okay. And that is the meeting point for London cab drivers. Lomax is 5 Southwest. And that is the London Library for encyclopedic research. 37 EC, Amanda. That is the Telegraph. 37.
right there.
Okay. Oh, we can freely run around. That's okay. Yep. The number of leads, and Mike has it exactly right. Then Sherlock Holmes himself, 42 Northwest.
He'll help and give really bad clues if you need them.
Right. And the last two here are only for the Jack the Ripper cases, which don't apply. All right. So essentially what we have are 2 leads to begin with, right? Mm-hmm. We could go see the director, maybe find some information, or we could actually go to the scene of the crime. What do you guys think?
The scene of the crime makes the most sense to me.
I mean, given what we kind of gleaned that on our own a little bit,
right.
that seems to have been good for us in the past.
Okay, so do we like that idea then? Yeah, Mike?
Oh, I love it.
Okay, all right. So we are going to look into the book for 31 EC. And it does suggest trying not to look at any of the other clues on that. 31 EC.
EC is not in here.
All right, well, there goes that idea. Okay. Literally the only thing we have then is Betancourt, right?
Yes.
Or, well, we could look at the newspaper.
We could
Yeah, we
indeed.
should probably do that first.
Yeah,
Okay,
here.
all right. So bring it over onto the screen.
I'll take a
Did
gander
Sydney
at this
have
real
a
quick.
will? Might point to motive, the lizard says. That's a good
That's a
point.
good idea. Yeah.
Scotland Yard.
Assassination of the Austrian Empress.
Obituaries.
Obituaries.
This was a couple. So this took place on the 3rd. No, on the. What's the date on that?
The 16th.
Okay.
Today's paper.
But this is the evening edition, so it's possible.
Lyddon.
Yes. I saw Sydney.
Yes.
Sydney's still alive.
Right.
Yes.
No.
Razor's dead.
Sydney's the one with the gun.
All right. Look in the old paper for a theater section. Oh, that's a good call.
I'm looking.
Bank irregularities on the continent.
Statistics of murders. China. Assassination. Austrian. What's on the backside?
Shipping office in Greece.
1,000 extra miles. Persistence of smoke.
London Covent Garden Theatre musical show tonight at 8 o'clock.
This wasn't a musical, but...
Well, okay. At 8 o'clock, the Covent Garden Theatre. Is that in that? Pall Mall Gazette must have cigarette ads in it. Yeah, that's exactly what I keep thinking as well, Klecker. This is Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective, Creekside. Case number 6.
Miss Lily Longtree and her grand show of lyrical theatre every evening at 8 at the Covent Garden Theatre.
Covent Garden Theatre is 30 WC.
Okay. Not sure that's this one.
Right. Wheelchairs.
Yeah, we're looking for a scandal in Bohemia.
Yeah.
But she could be...
So we've gone through all of these, and the only thing we've come up with is Betancourt.
That
so
one,
far.
he did mention the Royal Albert Hall.
But that was just in passing, I
Yeah,
think.
that's just where they were the last time that Sherlock Holmes got embarrassed by being out in public.
Hey, Quinn V, welcome. And yeah, anything on the checks in the paper? Scandal in Bohemia? In either?
I looked, but I
No,
didn't see
nothing
anything,
for-
but y'all are welcome to look as well.
Let me take a look at this one while Mike looks at that one. Does the directory have a listing of all the theaters?
It might in the back.
The director could give name of the theater?
Yes.
That is possible. Let's see. Romanian anarchists here. Music festival, but no. Huh. Nothing jumping out. We're gonna have to go see the director at some point.
I think
right?
so.
So why don't we go ahead and start there then? So 69. That's what is that? That's
Southeast.
Southeast. 69 Southeast.
We knock on the door many times, but no one answers.
For real? That's the entire clue.
That's all it says.
Wow.
That is fantastic.
He's obviously at the theater still. But what theater?
Let me make sure.
Yeah, double check. So
31. It was 31 EC, right?
EC. That's the QZ Royal Hotel. Wait.
Oh, then we looked at something wrong.
Yeah, DLT. Make sure. So.
Oh, did I screw that up? Maybe.
Okay. There we go. So that's our first clue. That's
So,
terrible. Yeah, we're looking.
Betancourt, 69 Southeast. No answer.
Nothing.
Correct.
Incorrect.
Gotcha.
Horrible. Okay, not a good start. I think I just heard an internal glory to Rome from me. Yeah. Yeah.
How about the Society Maven over there?
Maybe. There. So, Rob, if you're still watching, what
31 WC.
is what?
That's what I said.
This is EC.
That's EC. 31 WC's over here.
Oh, 31 WC. Hold on.
Yeah.
Where's... Right there. Drury Lane Theater.
Okay, so let's look at that one. Right?
Yeah.
31 WC.
This is DL.
Okay, now here we go.
Alright,
There's a
alright.
lot of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So hold on. So this is going to be number 2. All right.
Okay.
So. All right. So, all right. So listen close. This is where we think the murder took place.
We make our way through the compact crowd of Drury Lane. The gin stores with their shady patrons and their drunken prostitutes aren't all that different from the illustrations of Hogarth for A Harlot's Progress a century earlier. At the entrance to the Drury Lane Theater, we're greeted by a warm welcome from the doorman, Brian Smith.
Yep, we're all right. We're home.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, for sure. It'd do me best to help Wiggins and this poor chaplain. Are there any other exits to this theater other than this door? Not yesterday in any case. When there's no play, all doors are closed. Deliveries come through here. Everyone goes through this door, and I jot down the coming and going in this journal. Can we see yesterday's journal? Sure thing. We'd also like to have a look at and talk to the other people and the other members of the troupe who were here yesterday. Sure, they're almost all here. Wiggins must have already gathered them here, he says as he returns to his duties. For the following clues, refer to the theater map. Each person or room that you visit counts as a lead.
Say that again.
For the following clues, refer to the theater map, which
Okay.
is in my hand.
Okay, got it.
Each person or room that you visit counts as a lead, so we
Okay.
can't walk around everywhere.
Okay.
Oh, well, that would be why there aren't any clues on the Greater London map, wouldn't it?
So there is the theater's journal. So it has times and who came and went.
All right. Should we? Is that it, or is? Let's see. So what are we looking at? Okay. So here, cover it this way.
Here.
There you go. There you go.
So,
Right, they can't see that.
well, I don't want to put it on top of that. I don't want to.
Nah, it's wet erase. Wow. So all of these, this is the journal when things happen. Okay, so here we have Razor's dressing room. Ooh, boy. Well, you know what? Here, since this is going to be the focus right now,
Now let's zoom
Yeah.
right in.
Yeah.
bring that down a little. There we go. Cool. All right. So there we go. For each of the following...
We should get another piece of plexi to put on top of this so we can write on top of that.
Inception
Right on your
level
little
2.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We do have this. So we'll go ahead and use that for notes. Okay? All right. Hey, Tony.
Well, hey, as long as we're...
There we go.
No, we're blocking a little bit because the camera. You know what? Here, problem solved. I will move.
Or zoom out a little bit.
You can't move it in this one.
That's right. So no, here we'll just do like so. There we go. All right. So that was technically mine. So all right. So Matt, so you want to write down all of these things, or how do we want to do this, guys?
I can actually see it up there better than I can see
it.
too.
Okay, cool. All right.
Well, I'll write down 3 here, and we'll write who we visited.
Okay.
I mean, it would make sense to visit the people that were right there after he got, after the shot rang out.
Right.
It would make sense to visit the location in which the murder happened, or at least allegedly happened.
Well, do we have the location?
It's Razor's room.
Yeah,
it was in his dressing room,
yeah.
so that would make the most logical sense.
The prime suspect is
Sydney.
This is Sydney and Charlie Chaplin, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Neat.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is Sydney listed here as well?
And yeah, the murder happened at 12:45. First place they check was about yep.
12:45.
I don't even see Sydney as an option on that for what it's
Technically,
worth.
the first place we checked was right. We were just in the wrong place.
Yeah, fair point.
The second place we went was a bust.
So Matt, what do you want to do?
All right, so it's pretty much. So where is Sydney right now?
He's been taken away. He's with
been taken
Lestrade.
Okay. So if he's not here and we're here, we should go to the murder scene.
Yes.
So.
I would agree.
Oh, you can hang around, Tony. Just don't spoil it, and we appreciate that. All right.
So we go to Razor's dressing room and check out the scene of the crime.
Seems to be the obvious one. Okay. All right. So, who wants to read it?
No.
All right, go for it.
The small dressing room doesn't contain any extraneous decoration, but simply a small table covered with makeup, 2 wooden chairs, and a small camp bed. Watson examines the bed and lifts the cover. At that moment, something falls to the ground. Watson kneels to pick it up. It's a pocket watch chain. Well, half a chain, says Watson as he looks at it. Let's see what else we can find. He looks at the mattress and lifts it to inspect the base. There's a nail sticking out, remarks Watson. It's located in the middle of one of the long sides of the bed's frame. The traces on the wood are recent. It was nailed in a day or two ago. What's it used for? I don't know. It's just a twisted nail. And that, what is that? Watson pulls out a magnifying glass and observes a mark on the wall just above the nail. It looks like powder. There's no hole, no bullet. Watson moves the bed away from the wall and inspects the floor. Ah, there it is! Watson picks up a small round object and inspects it with his magnifying glass. What is it? A cotton stopper, used for blank shots. So it was a blank.
Which can kill you at close range.
Mm-hmm.
Just ask John Eric Hexum about that.
Who's that?
He was a male actor in a late 1980s adventure series on television called I forget, Cover Story, something like that.
Okay.
It's about models and whatnot.
Yeah, that's how Brandon Lee died.
Yep, that's a good point. All right, so there is half a watch chain, there's a nail in the bed frame, and there's cotton stopper.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. All right, so let's get back to the other side.
Somebody sabotaged the theater gun? Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about is there a, it's like a costumer or anything? Costume mistress. What about Jean Moraine? She's the one that freaked out or was screaming.
Jean Moraine?
Is there a props guy?
Costume?
There is a
stage manager?
Stage manager.
Yeah.
So, okay, so these people... Oh, let me zoom back out for this. Okay, so here, all of these people were on the stage when it happened, right? Betancourt, well, not Sydney, but Jean Moraine, she's the one who yelled. Mm-hmm. Then Richard Essex and Brian Smith were the two that were on the stage with the director, correct?
And we're certain that Jean was on the stage?
No, I'm not
Let's
certain.
double check. We'll
Okay, yeah,
reread it.
go reread it.
Even though they were on the stage, they could have been the one that fiddled with the gun. Sidney could have shot the gun, but not.
Fair
No.
point.
Yeah.
Fair point. Okay, yeah.
Maybe that's a good next step. Oh, we just need... Whoops.
There you go. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the original description of the
The
crime.
very beginning.
Very
Okay.
good, right there.
Aha.
Somewhere
All
there.
right.
Okay. Jean was the costume person. I think
Why would
so.
she... Yeah, and why would she have been on the stage?
She was standing over with the pistol. All right, so let's see. Okay. Oh, that's a good point. Said was standing over with the pistol, but never said that the shot came from that pistol, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to go back over that
Yes.
without the accent so we can understand it clearly?
I understood it fine with the accent.
Yeah, we're going to drive Phil crazy with
Yeah.
this. The director, Mr. Betancourt, wanted to rehearse Act 2 after lunch. Most of the actors had gathered on the stage to listen to Mr. Betancourt's remarks. It was 1:45 when we heard the shot ring out from backstage. Then the shout of "a woman."
Okay.
We rushed backstage into Razor's dressing room. Sidney was leaning over Razor's body, a pistol in his hand. Razor was dead. And the woman who shouted? Jean Berain, the costume maker for Maria Leslie. She ran to Razor's dressing room when she heard the shot. She declared that Sidney was already there with the pistol in his hand.
Yeah, I want to talk to her.
Okay, that makes sense. Jean Berain. So you want to read it? Mike?
Certainly. There she is.
All right, here we go.
Oh, what a horrible sight! The body of Mr. Razor lying on the ground, and Sidney holding the pistol in his hand. I wasn't able to sleep last night at all. That image was carved into my eyelids. Concentrate and breathe, says Watson with a learned tone. Study the scene and tell us exactly what you saw. I particularly remember Sidney's face. He seemed terribly shocked. And before hearing the shot, tell us everything you remember about yesterday. I arrived early yesterday morning. Despite the morning rehearsal not being in dress, there's little time left before the premiere, and so much left to do. I also ran a few errands for Maria before the rehearsal, like getting her tea and lemon. She often asks for lemon for her throat, you see. During the rehearsal, I was working in the costume storeroom. After the morning rehearsal, Mr. Betancourt came to see me. I don't usually take a lunch, but we used the occasion to share tea and some biscuits. I heard footsteps in the corridor around 20 past noon. Surely Mr. Razor entering his dressing room, as he said he wasn't going for lunch. After all these years of working on emergencies and costume adjustments at the last minute, I glance at the clock at least every 10 minutes. I then heard footsteps again at 1:45, then a minute or so later the shot. I ran to the dressing room and saw the door to it was open, so I went in. Poor Sidney. The other members of the troupe came in right after me. Thank you, Jean. I'm sure your testimony will be useful to us.
So the fact that there was a nail, can we go back to Razor's room again and go back over that? Okay, there was half a watch chain, and then the nail was recent.
The half a watch chain was under the bed cover.
Okay, so in the sheets essentially, right?
Watson examines the bed and lifts the cover. At that moment, something falls to the ground.
So he lifts it so it was on top of the bed cover then, right? Okay.
He looks in the mattress and lifts it to inspect the base.
Okay, he lifts the mattress up, looking at like the box spring or the frame. Okay.
There's a nail sticking out, remarks Watson. It's located in the middle of one of the long sides of the bed's frame.
Okay, so parallel to how you'd be laying, right?
On the inside, apparently.
Okay.
The traces on the wood are recent. It was nailed in a day or two ago. What is it used for? I don't know. It's just a twisted nail. And that, what's that? Watson pulls out a magnifying glass and observes a mark on the wall just above the nail. It looks
I'm
like...
having a hard time wrapping my head around that.
Yeah.
I thought the nail was in the bed.
Yes. It's located in the middle of one of the long sides of the bed's frame.
Huh.
So there's powder on the wall just above the nail in the bed frame. So the bed's up against the wall, perhaps?
Could be.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm wondering, autopsy?
I was wondering if he was hanging the gun on a nail under the bed for some reason.
Or did somebody rig the pistol? But and Bev brought up a good point in chat about where's the watch? We need to find that
And
watch.
double check the log and make sure that what Jean said she did is right.
Oh,
like, does it
that's-
have the times and stuff?
That's a good...
Oh, good call.
Fact check.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right. So let's go. Hold on. Let's go back.
So let me give you timeline that
Okay.
she
Here.
says.
All right.
I arrived early yesterday morning.
Okay.
I also ran a few errands for Maria before the rehearsal.
Okay. So ran errands.
So that would tell me that she got there early,
Okay.
left, and came back.
Before rehearsal. And what time was rehearsal?
It'll probably
It'll
say on there.
Here.
I think we need to go back to the beginning here then.
Okay. Or whatever they would call it. Yeah, look for contradictions. That's a good point. I'm thinking the watch chain got caught on the nail and broke, maybe? That could be it. And E's asking for who left for lunch.
It was her and Betancourt.
Yes.
Did they leave for lunch, or
They
did
did.
they have lunch in the room, tea and biscuits?
They had tea and biscuits. Where they had the tea and biscuits, was it there? I don't know.
I don't find that. I think somebody said something about right after lunch.
Right, okay, so here,
So her name should be on there like
don't
4
don't
times.
look at this.
Yep.
Here, hold on. There.
She's probably one of the first on the list.
So
She came
Betancourt
early.
arrived at 7:15. Stanley as okay. There, Jean Barain arrived at 07:35. So 07:35 arrive. 35 arrive.
So that matches.
Chaplain Wiggins arrives.
Delivery from Swear and Wells for Mr. Essex. Look up Swear and Wells.
I will look up Swear and Wells.
Like SWEAR.
Yes.
And then there's a carpet delivery from Sidley and Sons. Here, we'll move this up so folks can see.
Stanley goes for lunch.
Swears and Wells is 65 Northwest if you're interested.
65 Northwest.
Over there somewhere.
64, 65 right there. And what was that?
A delivery.
Delivery.
Swear and Wells, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Double check.
I
to
don't
make
see
sure.
that,
Swear and Wells, 65 Northwest. Yes.
So we know.
Betancourt ever leaves.
So, okay.
That might be their food, though. That might be their lunch.
All right.
So, okay. So go back to Jean Barain. Says 7:35 she arrives. And then it says she left. Did she say, she said she left
She
to
says
run
she ran
errands,
errands.
right? So hold on. Where? It doesn't show. So it says Bobby departs here. So Jean Barain arrives.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Jean Borain leaves.
Nor the director.
So
Nor Betancourt.
what about we ask Maria, who's the one that she says she went and got the tea for, to see if that
let's.
exactly what she
I
did.
like that idea. That's a good idea. But I don't see anything here that says it's showing all these departures, but I'm not seeing. So Beckwith departs at 9:30. I see no departures before that. Do you?
When did Razor get there, just out of curiosity?
Razor. I'm looking. Right there, 8 o'clock. All right, so here we go. Well, we have everything listed here.
Oh,
so
there's a telegram for Oliver arrived at 10:05. Interesting.
but we don't know.
Who was Oliver?
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
Is he a poor orphan that needs more porridge?
But
Wilson.
but here's the thing that gets me is, read that again. What she said.
I arrived yesterday morning.
Okay.
Despite the morning rehearsal not being in dress, there's little time before the premiere, so much left to do. I also ran a few errands for Maria before the rehearsal, like getting her tea and lemon.
Oh, so she
So maybe
didn't have
she
to
did-
leave.
Could have
Maybe
been
she
her
did it
house.
before.
Could have been, yeah.
All right.
Okay.
During the rehearsal, I was working in the costume storeroom.
Okay, before rehearsal, so ran errands. So we have that, then what was that?
During the rehearsal, I was working in the costume storeroom.
During rehearsal.
Let's look at the map too. Where is the costume storeroom in relation to the murder scene?
Costume storeroom is going to have to be on the lower, I would
Well, there's
think.
Jean Borain
Oh, she
in
was,
Razor's room.
Okay, so there's the green rooms. Well, not the green rooms. There's the green room.
yes, I'm guessing that's
dressing
the
room.
costume storeroom. So it is right down the hall. She heard the footsteps go through here at those times. So so the person who committed the thing went through there.
All right, so go back to hearing the footsteps a couple times.
After the morning rehearsal, Mr. Betancourt came to see me. I don't usually take lunch, but we used the occasion to share tea and some biscuits in-house.
Yeah.
Okay.
After rehearsal?
After the morning rehearsal.
Okay, then tea and biscuits. Tea with director.
Yep.
Wow. How did I end up doing this? Okay.
I heard footsteps in the corridor around 12:20.
All right. See if that corresponds with anything around 12:20.
No.
Okay. So who was already there?
D. Oliver departs at 12:30, so Oliver
Well-
was still in there.
Okay. So who all arrived before and did not leave? Because that's going to be our list of suspects,
Yeah, I
right?
think so.
Okay. Okay, Betancourt arrives.
Okay. So, but he still could be. Okay.
And Betancourt never left.
Okay. Got it.
F. Stanley arrives. F. Stanley goes for lunch at 11:45.
F. Stanley, 11:45, leave. Okay.
R. Essex and Beckwith arrive at 7:30.
That's the delivery.
Essex leaves for lunch at 11:15.
Essex, so he's already there apparently.
Now, Essex arrived at 7:30 and he left at 11:15.
Okay. 11:15, leave.
It's Beakwith, excuse me.
Okay.
I don't see Beakwith leaving. Just carefully go through here. Beakwith.
Beak with.
B-E-E-K, with.
Okay.
He does not leave.
Okay.
Jean arrives at 7:35.
Right.
We've established that she's still there.
Right.
T. Ryder and Bobby arrive at 7:45.
T. Ryder.
Mm-hmm.
Ryder and Bobby.
And Bobby.
Okay.
Bobby leaves at 10:30.
Okay.
I do not see that T. Ryder has departed.
Okay.
So Ryder is still there.
Okay.
William Razor arrives at 8 a.m.
Well, we know he's
He
not a
left,
suspect.
but not in a living state.
Right.
Feet first.
Yeah, he came.
All right.
And left in a bag.
The Chaplin brothers arrive at 8:10.
Okay.
The Chaplin brothers go for lunch at 11:10.
Okay, so Chaplin Bros left at what time?
11:10.
Okay.
Ooh, a timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leslie and Beeston arrive next at 8:15.
Leslie
And they leave for lunch.
and Beeston.
Beeston, Beeston.
Okay.
They leave at 11 a.m. Wiggins arrives at 8:17.
Wiggins. I think it's safe to assume Wiggins didn't do it, but okay.
Wiggins left at 11:10.
Okay.
Weber arrives at 8:20. Weber goes to lunch at 11:15.
Okay.
With C. Old Mixon, who arrived at 8:22. So Old Mixon is 8:22
Old
a.m.
Mixon.
Old Mixon
Mixon.
on. And he leaves with
11:15.
with
Okay.
Weber at 11:15.
Okay.
In Sabellini arrives at 8:35 a.m. Sabellini goes for lunch at 11:20.
Sabellini.
Allini.
Left at 11:20.
Left at 11:20.
Okay.
Then the delivery. And at 9:30 a.m. L. Beckwith departs.
At what time? Sorry.
Beck. Yeah, it's not Beckwith, it's Beckwith.
Okay.
So he
What time?
9:30.
Okay.
Daniel Oliver arrives at 9:45.
Okay.
He immediately gets a telegram at 10:05.
Oliver. Okay, so he's still in the building. Okay.
He leaves at 12:30.
Just before. Okay.
And she looks at the clock every 10 minutes.
Yep.
She said 12:20.
Yep. She had footsteps. Okay, so go back to what she said
Yeah,
on
she
that
said that was
timeline.
She said it was probably
Right.
Razor going to his room at
We've
12:20.
Still got a few more time things to plug
Okay,
together.
All right.
But I heard footsteps in the corridor around 20 past noon. Around 20 past noon.
Okay.
Surely Mr. Razor entering his dressing room.
Okay.
as-
Hold on. Assumes Razor.
Yes.
Assumes the Vic. I mean, if we're gonna be detectives,
Yeah.
let's use the right
Chong
term.
chong.
Right. Exactly. Okay.
Surely Mr. Razor entering his dressing room as he said he wasn't going for lunch.
Okay. So hold on real quick. Let's get the map real quick. So
Yep, so
She heard-
she's there.
right. So she heard
That's his-
him going. She heard footsteps coming from the stage going towards his dressing room at 12:20.
Okay.
Okay. All right. All right.
Let's continue with on down her testimony. Because we didn't get to the... She said around 12:20. After
Right.
all these years of working on emergencies and costume adjustments, at the last minute I glanced at the clock at least every 10 minutes.
Okay.
Then I heard footsteps again at 1:45.
Okay. So then footsteps at 12:45.
Then a minute or so later, the
to
shot.
room. Okay. Then
So the shot was at
But she
12:46, 12:45.
right, but she didn't say what direction the steps were going.
No. I ran to the dressing room and saw the door to it was open, so I went in. Poor Sydney, the other members of the troupe came right after me, so these footsteps apparently
Yeah.
is Sydney, allegedly.
All right. What's up, B.O.B.? So assume Sydney.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
But we don't know the direction still.
Correct.
Although we can infer that she said that she heard footsteps, and then a minute later she heard the shot. So that.
But if the Chaplin brothers left at 11:10, how is Sydney there at 12:45?
We haven't gotten to the end of the list yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we were up to 11 a.m. Leslie and Beeston go for lunch.
Oh, we're way past that. We're all the way at Oliver at 12:30 leaving.
We are? Okay.
Yes.
Essex arrives at 12:30.
Okay, so he left at 11:15. He arrives. So Essex is back in the building. Okay.
At 12:30.
Okay.
12:35, Old Mixon and Weber arrive.
Okay, so these two.
They left at
so
11:15. They're back at 12:35.
So there we go. Right.
At 12:40, Leslie and Beeston arrive.
Okay, so these guys are back in. Okay.
12:42, the Chaplin brothers arrive.
42.
So they were there just before.
Okay.
And Wiggins arrives.
Okay, so Sebellini is gone. Oliver is gone. Beckwith is gone. Stanley is gone. But it could have been, so when was, so I'm going, I don't want to assume, but rehearsal, when did rehearsal end?
I am not
I
sure
don't know
we
that we
know
know.
that.
She said that after rehearsal, she had tea with the director, and then she heard footsteps right after that, right? Is Oliver the only other one whose footsteps could have been at 12:20? Actually, that's actually a good point. We need to write down what time these guys arrived again. Go back through that.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking 12:20. That's what we want to figure out. Who was in the building at 12:20?
Who was in the building at 12:20?
Tell me who's not.
Okay, so Oliver is in the building.
Okay.
Essex is not.
Okay.
Old Mixon and Weber are not.
Okay.
But the other steps were at 12:45.
Leslie and Beeston are not in the building at 12:20. The Chaplin brothers are not. Wiggins is not.
So Sabellini is there at about, he leaves at about 11:20, and Oliver is there. So T. Ryder and Bobby, all of these guys are gone. And
Well,
Essex is gone.
What time did Sabellini come back if he left at 11:20?
Sabellini left at 11:20 and did not come back.
So he couldn't have been there if he left at 11:20.
Because she would have heard the footsteps right then, right?
Well, 11:20 is earlier than 12:20.
12:20, sorry.
when she
Yeah.
heard
So
the
Sabellini's
footsteps.
gone. So Oliver.
That's it.
So you're saying Oliver is the footsteps she heard at 12:20.
Could have been. We don't know. We heard footsteps at 12:20, and she assumed it was the victim. We can't ask him.
Oh, right. So it could have been that Oliver was waiting for Razor in his room. The footsteps at 12:45 was Razor, who enters the room, then he gets shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been that
Could have been
this is
either
Oliver, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that coming, and this is Oliver, or this is
Razor.
Razor.
It could be either way.
Right, could be. Well, we know 12:45 is not Razor. Well, it could be him arriving, I suppose. But yeah, Oliver seems like the obvious choice here. How does Sydney get in the room? That's a good question because she doesn't mention hearing another set. So it could be Sydney.
So here is the...
Yeah, I was just, there you go.
Thank you. So the scene of the murder is here.
Right.
In Razor's room.
Take care, Michael. All right.
And Jean is here. So there's...
I don't see any doors
Oh my
past
gosh. Is that a stairway down? That's a stairway down
that. All right, so it does go down to...
to the basement. There's an exit tunnel. There's a toilet, men's room.
And where was the door where the journal is? Where's that door?
He mentions that it's only there's
The
only
exit
one
tunnel,
door.
is it locked?
At the entrance to the Drury Lane Theater, we're greeted by a warm welcome from the doorman, Brian Smith.
So it's at the entrance. He's guarding the front. Everything else is locked down. Everybody comes through the front.
So foyer is here. So it has to be
So is this is the ground floor?
ground floor.
There is exit right here.
Are you going to help?
I'm not sure where the front doors are.
Maybe it's not relevant.
Well, they're usually next to the foyer.
Yeah.
It's a pity there aren't doors there.
Is that theater sloped up? So this is higher than that is? So
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh, so you're saying that people could have come out, up, exit?
Well, there
Exits on the
check
ground floor.
room, so this has got to be the main entrance because
Yes.
that's the coat check, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lower lounge. Okay. So, and then I guess you have to climb the stairs to get to the main floor.
Right, which is sloping
Right.
this
Mhm.
way.
That makes sense.
Okay. So we heard steps going this way at 12:20. She assumes that was the victim, and then she heard 12:45. She assumes that's Sydney.
Yeah, given the way this is laid out, that's not the only way to get there.
Right.
So
There's
somebody could
stairs
have come up the steps the other way. She probably never heard them.
Yeah.
Right.
Or left Razor's room.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Sydney and Oliver we need to talk to at some point, it seems.
All right, so Oliver... Did they say that Oliver was in the room with the troupe? Who's Oliver again?
I don't know that we have heard anything about an Oliver.
I don't know who Oliver is.
Yeah.
Well, wait, at the very, very beginning, Oliver, oh, why aren't you playing your own character? Wasn't that? Go to the very beginning.
Oh, I wasn't the right one, or I wasn't.
Something? Go to the very beginning.
He's the actor playing Wiggins instead of Wiggins.
Bev says, go ask Oliver what time it is. He broke his watch chain trying to clean up. She thinks, oh, all right.
See, Bev, if we were running this as a role-playing adventure, that would be the perfect thing to do. Yes.
Tea, Earl Grey, hot.
While Mike is referencing, I'm going to go get some coffee, hazelnut,
All right.
and let the boy outside.
Water.
Okay.
Commerce City.
From the refrigerator.
It's actually, better coming from the fridge that is filtered.
I don't see Oliver in the...
In that at all?
No.
So we don't know who Oliver is. Okay.
I see Charlie.
Okay.
So...
So Charlie Chaplin is playing Wiggins instead of Wiggins?
That's funny.
That is hysterical.
I have the wrong mustache for this character.
All right, so we don't know who Oliver is, but Razor,
So Sydney. Sydney's I mean, these games make me feel so stupid. So we have no idea who this Oliver person is. Daniel Oliver.
We can look him up in the directory.
We in fact can.
Indeed we can.
Here we go. Daniel Oliver.
So Oliver is his last name.
Yes.
Oliver Daniel, 45 Southeast.
So Oliver's the producer. So let me see this here while you do that.
Certainly. 45 Southeast.
Yes, Daniel Oliver is the producer. Good call. It says so right here. Yep. All right, so we have that.
And that's Oliver. 45 Southeast.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where he lives, but he's
Yeah.
probably still in the building. We'd probably be able to go talk to him. Okay, so Sydney is playing Wiggins. And that's kind of where we're at. So we either go talk to the producer, I think, or we talk to Sydney, who's playing Wiggins. Now, I'm just looking at names real quick. I'm not looking at anything else, and I don't see anything there with Oliver. Nope.
No Oliver. Really? How mysterious.
So Oliver arrived at 9:45, and he left at 12:30. It's before the shots, but did he rig something? I don't know. We could, and also don't forget, he got a telegram.
Yes.
And that was
10 something?
Yeah, let me look this up here. Wait, it's right here. Telegram for Oliver at 10:05.
Mm-hmm.
And then he didn't leave until almost 2.5 hours later.
So that is a lead that we could follow up, but
And no, was it established that he actually died from a gunshot? No, not yet.
true.
Right? Could have been the nail. I don't know. I mean, but you would think that
So
Maybe a job for the medical examiner.
that's also a legitimate.
Because the medical examiner would know about this one.
all right, and there is a telegraph office, so we can.
I'm trying to see if they're almost all here. Wiggins must have already gathered them here. So what I'm gathering is these are the people that we can actually go talk to that are there at the theater.
And no Sydney.
Nope. Which seems queer, doesn't it?
It does.
The one oh no, Sydney got taken away
Yeah.
by the cops. That's why. Because he
Okay.
was found with the weapon.
He's in custody.
Or
So-
found with a weapon.
So we could go to Scotland Yard.
We could. Or we're here. Should we talk to the rest of the troop? All right, Peanut Gallery, what do you guys think? Gun was tripwired to the nail and loaded blank. He was already dead, Peter says. I
Ooh.
like that. Throws off the timeline. So Adam says to talk to Oliver, which that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Any other feedback? All right, Bev says Oliver. The Lizard says Oliver, the medical examiner, because we don't know how he died.
Oh, and you think the powder on the wall is gunshot residue? The plug came out as the gun was fired. That holds
think-
together.
Yeah, I think the gunshot is a red herring.
Yeah, that
Like
holds
that-
together.
Gunshots just, it was a noise to happen to make somebody come look for the body that had been there for a while.
So the
That's
There's-
possible.
Because the body
So-
could have been there since, when did he arrive? When did Razor arrive?
Razor arrived at 8 o'clock
So all we know for sure, sometime between 8 o'clock
and
and
12:45.
12:45,
He died.
he walked in there and died.
But where was he at? Was he at the rehearsal?
We can assume,
We can assume
he
he's
was
at the rehearsal.
Did they say? Did anybody say he was?
No.
Nor do we know what time the rehearsal ended.
Right. So it seems that the medical examiner or the Oliver are the two ones that seem to be pushing us, and that seems to be what the Peanut Gallery agrees. So,
Oh, well, this is Mike.
yeah. So, Mike, which do you choose, sir?
Let's go see what we can find out about Mr. Oliver.
Okay, so Oliver.
Take a look at the paper
And where,
just a little bit.
where is Oliver again?
His home is 45 the southeast.
Just quickly scan the headers.
Already did.
You did? Okay.
45 Southeast. Okay, I'll go in to see Oliver. Let's see. 45 Southeast. All right, here we go. It's a short bit. We ready? Here we
Lay
go.
it on me.
Ah, you're friends of Wiggins. Your timing is perfect. Sit down, please. Daniel Oliver greets us with open arms. I'd like to reach him as soon as possible. You see, he's Razor's understudy. He must take up the role. I'm counting on you to convince him. Well, he looks pretty upset by events, so you intend to continue with the play? Asks Watson. Yes, I'm rather obligated to. With the Allegro and the Lyceum also having shows in the works, competition is fierce in the neighborhood. The show must go on, declares Oliver with emphasis.
Competition is fierce. Got it. Sabotage?
Okay.
Sabotage?
Sabotage?
Alright.
Sabotage? You say sabotage?
All right. So us traveling across the map does not take us any time, so that's okay. So that was Oliver. So does that mean the ME now? I mean,
What did he say about understudy?
okay. Ah, you're friends of Wiggins.
Wiggins is the understudy.
There you go.
Oh, Wiggins is the understudy for the role of Wiggins?
for Razor.
For Holmes.
For their whole role.
Yeah, for Holmes.
Okay.
All right.
Right,
Alright.
so it is now your turn, Edward.
Was Razor getting too expensive to pay? I want to find out how the dude died. We're assuming he died of a
Yeah,
gunshot.
then let's go see the ME. Yeah.
I think the ME.
Let's go see the
So
ME.
wait, over there.
It's
which one?
underneath.
38
It's underneath
EC.
this. Oh, no. Yeah,
38
38
EC. EC. Sorry. That's WC. Oh, 38 EC. Here we go. It's a death by bullet. Only one bullet shot straight in the eye, says Meeks. In the eye? A quick death. The bullet came from below, going upwards, and lodged itself in the brain. What's the time of death? Between noon and 1. Hard to be more precise. What have you discovered during your autopsy, doctor? There are signs of regular and sustained opium use. I don't know what to tell you. Lestrade told me the version from the man he arrested. I don't think the murder could have happened as he describes it. There are no signs of powder burn around the wound, so the pistol had to be at least 3 feet away from the victim. That doesn't match the young man's testimony. Thank you, Dr. Meeks. You're always a great help, concludes Watson enthusiastically.
Porky Shinwell is the owner of the Raven and Rat Pub, source of information for all illegal affairs and underworld figures.
And what about, wasn't there another one that, for all items and substances?
That is H.R. Murray, the criminologist.
All right, let's see. The rig gun at the bed frame that does, I mean, the fact that it's, okay, so.
But it's a precision shot through the eye into the brain. That's not
Could have
some
been. Could have
rigged...
been. Oh wait, article in the police news. Is there something in one of those? Okay. Gunpowder burns is still a factor in the Ace Attorney. Oh, it could have been accidentally perfect.
Upward into the eye.
Right.
From below.
Right,
Shorter
so-
person
3 feet away though.
and 3 feet away and below.
So
I feel like we need a diagram.
Or he's
Constrained.
lying in bed and someone stands at the foot of the bed and shoots him in the eye. That's upward into the brain.
that would be
Yeah, I don't assume he's standing up.
so. But we didn't hear the gunshot. Or it was the 1245 gunshot, 1246 gunshot.
Uh-huh.
Or he was... Well,
Opium dens are frequented by poor women and actors.
As we know.
And they did say he did confirm cause of death was during that time, so he did die likely from the gunshot that was.
Hold on.
Good point.
The war of the London opium dens is still on the rise. Until recently, the general tendency had been to consider the actions of the Mongols as an enormous farce, but this is no longer the case. The character of the good Chinese savage is no longer appropriate under the light of the revelation of his iniquities. The looting started with the opium dens, but then spread to many shops last week, leading to a great outcry, causing people to realize that this diabolical opium had a hold and a spread much greater than previously imagined. The most shocking was the one led against a shop at Shoreditch High Street behind the Liverpool train station. We have learned that the dens are not only frequented by the poor, but also by women and by many actors. It is necessary to form a crusade to root out this evil. Our illustration represents 3 famous Chinese places of perdition. These 3 places are accused of perverting young women. The focus on these recent outrages is creating involuntary publicity to Alan S. Williams' next book. Mr. Williams is a journalist from the Pall Mall Gazette team. His work is entitled The Demon from the Orient and His Compatriots in the Opium Dens, the Opium Smokers from English Paradise to the Hells of Tartarus.
Where was that den at again?
Shoreditch High Street, behind the Liverpool train station.
So, Liverpool train station.
Yeah, that is
here. And it was behind the train station
It
is
says
where
it's
the one
behind
opium den.
the Shoreditch High Street.
Is there a street name?
There are street names. Lamb Street, Continental.
Shoreditch is right here. It's that street.
Shoreditch High Street. The only thing there is 79 EC.
Which unfortunately we can't work backwards.
Right. Rob says that's the shop that was attacked, not the opium den itself.
Okay.
That's true.
No, we've heard nothing about blood anywhere, Bev.
So I say, I really think we need to go see the guy that is the source of information for all illegal affairs.
Okay, that would get us information about opium dens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he had an opium problem. We know
Razor.
that.
Razor.
Right. And again, we don't know if this stairway, it does say down right here, is locked. So it could have been that someone just snuck in.
Yeah, or shot him immediately left down the stairwell. Or... And we found Oliver. Nothing there that made us suspicious, right? Who got the telegram?
Oliver. At 10:05.
Okay, so the telegraph office is still a possibility here.
37 EC.
Well, who's called?
No, it's Matt's.
Yeah.
That's mine.
What do you want to do?
Yep.
Machiarchi.
So chances are he was found where he was shot, otherwise there'd be a trail, right?
Yes.
So it was one shot, a precision shot, quite possibly.
Or
could it have been an
accident.
execution? Could have been an execution.
Said it
Could
was
have been
from
an
3
accident.
feet away, but
At least 3 feet away.
Upwards.
Can I see the Pall Mall?
didn't see anything in there really.
So not suicide. That would be an odd place. Yeah, I'll buy that.
All
Yep,
right.
Yep.
We hadn't thought of that, but it's good to rule it out.
Arm is not 3 feet long. Yeah, 3 feet long.
No. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Okay. So let's go over our realistic options. Right. The underworld dude. Okay. Porky. The telegraph.
I also like the idea of Scotland Yard to talk to Sydney.
Yes.
Okay. So So Sydney, the telegraph office, or the underworld guy.
Sydney's first-hand accounts, so let's go Sydney.
Okay.
With
All right.
this, I'm assuming he's at Scotland Yard,
Okay.
right? Because they've got him.
That seems reasonable. So Scotland Yard is somewhere
Is here.
right there. Anybody else want to read it, or you want me to?
Go right ahead.
All right, 13 SW. All right. Not a lot here. Okay, here we go.
Of course.
Lestrade greets us in his private office. What brings you here, Dr. Watson? You're quite far from Baker Street. We're investigating the murder of William Razor. We don't think that Sidney Chaplin is the killer. I don't either. Lestrade shakes his hand and lights a cigarette. However, all evidence is pointing his way. Only a few seconds elapsed between the shot and Mrs. Borain's arrival, and she saw Chaplin near the body with the pistol in hand. There was no one else in the room. We can only believe him guilty. You know, when you eliminate the impossible, what remains, as unpleasant as it might be, has to be the truth.
Good old Lestrade.
I guess they wouldn't let us talk to the guy.
Lap
Come
that
on.
milk up.
Right?
Okay.
Seems too obvious and seems too easy.
Yeah, it's definitely not him.
Right. The fact
I was
that
hoping we get to talk to the guy.
right.
Fine.
All right, that
Stupid
was a
Lestrade.
bust. I'm just not going to write anything down there.
We're going to go see Porky, so I'm
Okay.
next. So
Oh,
it's
all right, Amanda.
52 EC.
Okay. 52 EC.
Porky.
Porky!
Porky? No.
Who allegedly runs an opium. Wait. In the directory, the only person in the opium picture in the directory.
What opium picture?
Let me see. It did say to not take into account necessarily pictures like that in the rules. So.
He's got a little bit.
Okay. No, go ahead. If that's. I mean, you're the one that's up. So.
Cheers, guys. Are you here for business or for pleasure? It's always a pleasure to come here, Porky, but right now we're working on the murder of William Razor. The police have arrested one of our friends. We're sure he's innocent. You're quite lucky, Watson, Porky laughs. Many of my friends have been arrested before, and I've only rarely been convinced of their innocence. Have you heard about the murder? Sorry, my patrons don't really go to the theater. At times, there are a few artists who come by here, full of romantic ideas about slums and poverty. They sometimes even end up in even poorer neighborhoods, in opium dens and other such places. Are there specific places? Well, there's always the Bar of Gold, of course, but that's not a place for occasional patrons. A few of my clients frequent a den in the southeast run by a Chinese man called Hong or Kong or something like that. In
That's
fact,
him.
I think I even heard that an actor, what's his name, Ralph Finley, goes there sometimes. Sorry, I don't have anything more, guys. So Ralph
Hop Ye Kong.
and Ralph Finley.
Hop Ye Kong. 48 Southeast is Hop Ye Kong. 48. Okay. All right, so Mike.
We're going to go talk to him.
Okay. Definitely. All right.
43 Southeast, so you said?
No, it's 48
Southeast.
Southeast.
Do you want to read it, Mike, or do you want me to read it?
Sure, I'll read it.
Let me find it for you.
Gotta get on
43.
Phil's list with at least one more horrible accent.
I think that's Southeast.
Southeast, 48.
48. Yes, 48. Here we go.
The alleyway leading us to the door of Hop Ye Kong is narrow, dirty, and dark, but a kerosene lamp wrapped in scarlet paper shows us our destination. On the door are painted two Chinese characters in red around a small grilled window. Watson knocks on the door with the tip of his cane. The window opens and a high-pitched voice calls to us, "What do you want?" "Ralph Finley gave us your address," answers Watson. The door opens onto a dimly lit corridor. A small man leads us to a door which he opens, inviting us to enter. The room is so filled with smoke that it's difficult to see in it. Against the walls are packed roughly made cots. There are men smoking in most of the cots, and some are still deeply asleep. "An opium den," says Watson with a reproving tone. "2 shillings the pipe," says the man. says the little man, a Chinese man wearing puffy trousers and a yellowed shirt, which must have once been white.
Oof.
Yeah. He has long hair tied in a braid, and his left cheek is crossed by a scar. He holds his hand out and repeats, 2 shillings the pipe. Watson pulls a crown from his pocket. We don't want a pipe, but information. What do you want? Says the Chinese man, his hand still outstretched. Does Finley come here often? 1 time, 2 each week. He's accompanied. He always has 2 ne'er-do-wells with him. Who else? Ne'er-do-wells.
Okay.
Okay. 2 lowlifes, or unfortunate souls.
Yes.
Who else? The Chinese man brings his hand closer to Watson, who drops in it the coin, which quickly ends up in the man's trouser pocket. He comes with an American actor, William Razor. Are you sure? He's always boasting. I'm sure. That is all.
Finley.
Finley.
All right.
So it was Ralph Finley.
All right. So looking at this, I don't see any name in the troop for Finley. Looking at the people that were there.
And how do we spell Finley? Finley. 96WC is where he is.
The WC.
96, 93, 95, 96, right there. Well, that is right across the street from DLT. So, but who is Finley?
We have no idea.
I'm trying to see.
Porky mentioned him.
Yep.
He's an actor, right? Or an artist or an actor?
Artist.
Competing actor.
So, I mean, if this... I don't know how he would have gotten past the doorman, but he probably would have been within... He's within walking range, for sure. Actually, did Finley show up on the list anywhere?
That's not that... That's, I'm going back and actually looking to see if I see a Finley anywhere. Jean Beret, Marie Leslie... Trying to see.
Maybe he was one of the deliveries.
Okay, let's go back to the log here. Okay. So Finley. F. Stanley. And Finley's the last name, right?
Ralph is his first.
Ralph's first name, Finley, yeah, last name.
I see nothing with a Finley.
Mm-mm.
Seems it's probably still worth chatting to.
All right, so our options here are Finley. What else?
Telegraph office.
Okay, telegraph.
It smells a bit like a herring.
Yeah.
It does.
Definitely not on the prime meridian here.
Neither was.
There was that delivery from that other place too that came.
There's
a telegraph and something else.
A carpet. And
for Essex.
a delivery from Swear and Wells for Mr. Essex.
Yeah. That doesn't...
Nothing points to it.
Right. And going back to the people that were there, right? Oliver, he left. All of them are gone. Stanley is still there. Stanley is the only one, other than Betancourt, which we know Betancourt was on the stage. And Stanley is secretary, Francis Stanley. Timing. He was still killed after 12, right?
Yes.
Who delivered the telegraph? I think it just says a telegraph arrived.
Correct.
Or a telegram, yes. Well, what do y'all think? And Peanut Gallery.
Kind of thinking Finley just because it's kind of
the path
we're going
down.
down. He spent a lot of time with Razor, so
Razor.
he probably got some information that maybe points to someone else.
That's actually a really good point. Yes,
It's not
let's
in
do
the
that.
theater. Competition is fierce. It could be a sabotage job.
Okay, all right. So where is
He's right there, right across the street.
What is that? 96?
96.
WC? 96 WC. Oh, my. Get comfy.
Finley.
Killed after 12 doesn't mean the murder was set up after 12. Correct. All right, here we go. I'm gonna forego the accents here. Watson knocks on the door to Ralph Finley's apartment for the third time. The door finally opens. A young boy of about 16 years of age is standing in a doorway, staring defiantly at us. "Is Ralph Finley there?" asks Watson. "Who's asking?" says the boy. Watson hands him his card. He takes it, holds it upside down, examines it with squinted eyes, then finally allows us to enter the room. "Wait here." All the room's windows are covered with heavy curtains. Might be a day sleeper. Hiding from the light of the sun. Only a group of candles standing on a large oaken table in the middle of the room illuminate us. Watson brings our attention to a strong and acrid smell, easily recognizable. "Opium," he says. Near the candles we can see a few pipes. The floor is littered with pillows and low tables. Oriental paintings, most of them erotic, are hanging here and there on the walls. The entire room has an Asian look to it. "Did Kong send you?" We turn around and see a young man wearing a brocaded blue silk bathrobe, ornamented by a red dragon. Chasing the dragon. Coming closer, we realize that he's actually older than he first looks. I told Kong that I'd take care of it.
All right.
"I don't know any Kong. I'm here about William Razor," Watson interrupts him. "Willie? What happened to him?" "I'm afraid he's dead." "Dead? But how?" "Murdered. He was shot." "Who did that? Was it Nicola?" "Don't tell me it was Nicola." "Sebellini?" "No, we don't think he's implicated." "Why are you asking that?" "What a relief. He's so nice. It was stupid of me to think he could have done anything." "Why did you suspect him?" "Suspect him? No. That dear Nicola is hot-blooded, like all Latin people, but he wouldn't hurt a fly. Finley wears a thick layer of makeup, but it isn't enough to hide the pockets under his eyes and his tiredness. He wields words, not weapons. They argued horribly before Willie left the show. It was frightening to see these two admirable gentlemen quarrel about me. Do the police know who killed the brave Willie? They've arrested a young actor, Sidney Chaplin. We believe they got the wrong culprit. Maybe we could get settled more comfortably to discuss it, says Finley with his lascivious smile. Do you know who could have wanted to kill Mr. Razor? Few people liked Willie much. He didn't care about other people's feelings, but I can't think of anyone who would have wanted him harmed that badly. He had his good sides. You know, Dr. Watson, I also have my good sides. Would you be interested in discovering them?
Okay.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Finley. If we have other questions, we'll let you know. I'll wait for news from you.
Okay, so there was a love triangle between Finley, Razor, and Sabellini.
Sabellini?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
what that led me to
All
believe,
right.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Now what?
We talked to Sabellini.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still the Telegraph, don't forget, as well.
Yeah. Although, doing it in the order we've done it, if we talk to Sabellini, he's not going to know he won't tell us probably anything about that. But now we know that, so maybe there's something else. I don't know.
Well, it's your call.
So it is. Again,
So
I've been making wonderful calls all night. So. All right, which one was that? Can I peruse that last thing again? It was 96 WC?
Yeah, 96. Yeah.
So Nicola Sabellini is his name, right? Is his full name?
Let me see that real quick, and I'll show you There, this. So here, yep, Nicola Sabellini, an actor. So in Sabellini, to be clear here,
I think we kind of
he
determined
arrived
he was there.
at 8:35, and he went to lunch at 11:20. He was gone when the murder took place. Just FYI.
Oh, so he can't possibly have any information proximate to the murder then.
And who is Nicola?
That's
Nicola Sabellini
Oh,
is
it
his
is, okay.
name.
Yeah. Can I see that one?
Teresa?
Peanut Gallery, what says you?
Oh, but he could have snuck in.
Mm-hmm.
Obituaries.
He's a hot-blooded Latin triangular lover. Okay.
Yes.
Well, okay, that's a convenient trope.
Right.
It seems insufficiently involuted. But scandalous enough for the day, I suppose.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The persistence of smoke.
Yeah,
guys
I
read that?
read that it's more about factories
It's
than
about
opium.
factories.
Oh, okay. All right. Mining companies, hot air balloons.
Yeah, he apparently does not live in London, as far as this is concerned, so we can't just sneak into his house.
There's that Covent Garden Theater again, because going back to the whole stiff competition. Footsteps at 11:20 and left at 11:20 for Sabellini. Sorry. Yes. Right there. Yep. He left right about the same time.
12:20.
Yeah, 12:20 is
Sorry.
when the footsteps are.
Yeah. 12:20. Right. Left at 11:20. So he left
he
an
left
hour.
11:20 and he never
before.
he never came back.
Never came back. Right.
Always get a tough call.
There's still the telegraph. So we have So we've covered Finley now.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley we still had because he was actually there. We have Sabellini and the telegraph. Anything else that anybody? Not only that, but we also have the other folks of the troupe that we have not talked to. So we have not talked to Marie Leslie, who's an actress, John Weber, an actor, Sabellini, we haven't talked to, James Beeston, Clara Oddmixon, Essex, we haven't talked to, and we haven't talked to Stanley, and we haven't talked to Todd Ryder. But again, most of these people were gone, but they might be able to talk about motive, but we already kind of have a potential motive.
Mm-hmm.
So
Not completely solid yet.
no.
I'm thinking Sabellini, just his name has been mentioned down a line of people, so
I don't think it's a bad choice.
It's not, because if the triangle fell apart and somebody got jealous, I'm gonna, yeah.
I mean,
There's
the
a-
majority of
then-
murders take place
Yeah,
due
there's
to
a-
money.
there's a
Jealousy,
personal
right? And,
bent to
like,
this
love
murder
triangles.
in some way, and the only people that are personal to this right now to him are Sabellini and Finley. We talked to Finley already.
Yes.
Sabellini?
Sabellini, let's try it.
All right, Sabellini it is, past the duchy. Here we go. The well-filled-out actor fills his small brandy glass for the second time since our arrival, but he still hasn't answered our first question. I don't know what you may have heard about me. Forked tongues seem to get untied. I wasn't even at the theater at the time of the murder, says Sabellini, as he puts down his glass to light a cigar. His right hand shakes nervously. We're simply trying to help young Chaplin. If you have nothing to do with Razor's death, help us prove it, Watson enunciates sedately. Sabellini's eyes fix upon Watson. He smokes silently. After a good minute, he finally talks. It's true that I'm not saddened to learn about Razor's death, but all I have to say to you is I got nothing to do with it, and I'm not ready to lay out my private life for all to see.
Boo.
Shaking hands suggests he could not have made a precise shot to the eye.
Fair point.
That was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Nope, we haven't talked to Oliver, and E says talk to the suspect, but
We tried.
We can't.
We can't.
Who was Bobby? Departure at 10:30. All right, let's go back. Bobby is. That's a good question. Let me.
Lead Bob.
I do not see a name. I mean, I've heard the name. I'm looking. All right, so let's go back through the theater for. So we're looking Bobby. T. Ryder and Bobby arrive. Have we heard, other than that, have we heard Bobby anywhere?
Not that I recall, anyway.
I'm looking Jean Barain here. Let's see. Oh.
Yeah, but the Bobby Field being pulled out of the Thames was a couple days, it was 3 days before this happened.
Right. Yeah.
Because it was in this one,
Yeah. Oh, right.
and that's 3 days before.
Yeah, we would have loved to talk to the suspect. That was my idea.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let us. Lestrade goes, yeah, he did it. Yeah.
All right. So here.
Stupid
All
Lestrade.
right. So I'll start. Let's make a list of people we have not talked to and why we might want to talk to them. Okay. So Marie Leslie, she's an actress. She was the one that screamed, right? No, she was not. That was Jean Barain.
Yeah.
I did think that did look a little like me too, yeah. I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, it's my ancestor there.
With a different hat.
So Marie Leslie, an actress. John Weber, an actor. And Weber left at 11:15.
Mm-hmm.
And Leslie
Has been ruled out.
well, she's gone at 11.
Mm-hmm.
Beeston,
With Leslie.
Old Mixon, an actress.
She is gone at 11:15.
We've already talked to Jean Barain. Richard Essex, the stage manager. He left at 11:15.
We've not talked to him.
We have
No.
not.
So Essex. So, all right. So we have Essex. Well, we haven't talked to most of these people. We haven't talked to Todd Ryder. He's the janitor.
It's almost like a butler.
Well, so Todd Ryder and Bobby left together, and I still don't see any reference to Bobby on here other than it says T. Ryder and Bobby arrive together. And then they left.
Do we know anything about Bobby's function in all of this?
Maybe talk to T. Ryder and
Yeah.
find out who Bobby is,
Uh-huh.
if that even matters.
Bobby left at 10:30. I don't see where T. Ryder leaves.
Here.
No,
Todd-
Bobby left.
The only writer in here would be Todd Ryder,
That's him.
96 EC.
And he's also at the theater.
94.
It's 96. This is EC.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. 96. Whoopsie.
But like I said, he's also the janitor here, and he's at the theater.
He lives a long way from work. There's some question marks congregating around Mr. Ryder and the elusive Bobby.
So, E says the only 3 people the footsteps could have belonged to. I missed it. It was Essex, it was Ryder, or Razor, right? Because Betancourt it couldn't have. 'Cause she was having tea and biscuits with Betancourt, so it can't be him, right? Could be Stanley because he doesn't leave until 11. No, sorry.
This is all
12:45. Sorry. So Stanley's gone. So Essex.
Is Essex back? He left at 11:15.
Okay, so Essex, I'm looking here. So at 12:20, so here. So Stanley's gone, Sabellini's gone, Weber's gone, Essex is gone, Old Mixon is gone. So Ryder hasn't left. So who else? We got Ryder. We got Razor. And it could have been Sydney, but we know realistically it's not going to be Sydney. You know, we haven't talked to the director, have we?
Betancourt?
Betancourt,
Yeah.
we haven't talked to him, no.
He could corroborate,
They do. The telegraph office does archive all telegrams, so they could tell us what telegram they received.
All right. So we have Essex being gone.
Mm-hmm.
Goes for lunch at 11:15. Essex arrived at 12:30. So
Okay.
Essex is not there. He cannot be the footsteps. Ryder could be.
He can't be the first footsteps.
He could be the second one.
He could be the second.
Why can't?
Essex can be the
The
second.
second is 12:45.
And he
Okay.
got back at 12:30.
So 12:20. Footsteps. Could be Ryder. It could be the victim. So it could be Razor. And who else? Who else is available?
Oliver.
Well, Oliver leaves at 12:30, but he was there at 12:20.
Mm-hmm.
Oliver. Stanley's gone. Sabellini. Okay, so Bobby's gone. Trying to see after everyone goes to lunch. So Essex came back at 12:30. So then the 12:45 could be Razor, Essex, Old Mixon, and Weber. Leslie and Beeston, and the Chaplin brothers.
Could it also be Ryder?
Yeah, because he's, yeah. Ryder and Chaplin.
Where's Bobby fellow?
Bobby,
Because he came with Ryder.
but he left. He left at 10:30
Okay.
and never to
Okay.
come back. Correct, Peter. 12:45 either had to be Sydney or they'd already been there.
Mm-hmm.
Or Sydney had already been there. So, Ryder? It's Amanda's go. Ryder or, and Betancourt's the director, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We are not good at this. Just
Nope.
FYI. So Ryder the janitor, Essex the stage manager, or the director.
I'll go with Ryder.
All right. You want to read it? Go for it. It's that. All right, here we go. All right, Lum Doctor, have a good night.
Oh, you're friends with Mr. Wiggins? I'll feel better for sure when all the pigs have left. They make me nervous, for sure, and they're leaving mud everywhere with their big galoshes. I'm sure they'll leave soon. I have no doubt that you made a statement to the police, but I'd like to go over everything in detail. Can you tell me what you saw yesterday morning, especially anything out of the ordinary? It wasn't anything special. As usual, I had cleaned the stage and the lodges the previous evening. Everything was ready for rehearsal. I didn't have much to do, so I replaced the lamps in the main hall, and I was hunting down dust. During that time, Mr. Betancourt was sitting in the auditorium and watching the rehearsal. Then I had tea with Brian in the middle of the morning. Then Sidley came to deliver the carpets, and I helped transport them to the trap room. Then I cleaned up the large toilets on the ground floor. I put away my cleaning supplies in the closet. I walked by Mr. Oliver on the phone when I went to see Brian for lunch right before he left. I didn't see anything. There wasn't anything shady. When you said before he left, you mean Oliver? Yes, he was just behind me, and he told Brian to have a good day. He was going back home. Do you remember the time? I'd say noon, but that must be in Brian's journal. Did you see Mr. Razor? No. Were the doors and windows still locked? Yes, the police wanted to go check that, and we went over all of that with the policeman. It was all tightly locked.
Yeah, because it says Oliver leaves at 12:30, so...
Yeah.
So that means no one could have climbed back in.
Right. So nobody stuck in is what this is telling us.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
And there's he gives a fairly elaborate path through the theater. That seems pretty intricate.
right.
And he corroborates Oliver.
And what time did Oliver leave? 12:30 in the log?
Yep, right there. You got it
Yes,
right in front of
right
you.
Oh yeah. So that could have been Oliver's. Telegram?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to.
Yep. That's where I was going.
Where's the telegram office? Which one?
It is
Right there.
here.
37 EC.
All right, go for it, Mike.
There you go.
Telegram.
Yeah. And that was what? 37 EC? Where? There you go.
W.
EC.
37 to EC. All right.
Okay, here we go. I feel like this is going to be the thing.
Yes, sir, we keep copies of all telegrams. The young man behind the counter doesn't look up from the stack of papers he's sorting. I was wondering if you could check to see if you have a copy of the telegram that was sent to me yesterday. The doorman misplaced it. To the general surprise, Watson places a crown on the counter. The man's eyes finally rise to stop on the silver coin. What name and address? Asks the employee while slipping the coin in his pocket. Daniel Oliver, Drury Lane Theater, says Watson. The young man goes to a row of suspended folders on the back wall, takes one, and starts to examine the papers within. He finally pulls out a sheet which he hands to Watson. I can't give you this copy, but I can show it to you. That'll be fine. The telegram is sent by William Japes, 39 Aldergate Street, London, EC.
Hold on. William Japes. Japes?
Yes.
And what's the address?
39 Aldergate, London, EC.
Okay.
Does that translate to 38 EC?
I believe it does. 39.
39 EC.
He says, Sylvester is giving you until the 5th. Have the money or everything is lost. William.
77 EC, by the way. 77 EC.
There's 77 right there.
Yep. So that's William Japes. Okay, read the telegram again.
Sylvester is giving you until the 5th. Have the money or everything is lost. William.
Hey, that's impressive. I wrote it
That
upside down.
was well done.
That
Yeah.
looks better than my handwriting right side up, Amanda.
And what was the name?
William Japes?
No, the other one.
Sylvester.
Sylvester.
What is the current day date?
13th?
16. The murder happened on the 16th, so this must be the 17th.
Yeah, so the 5th, I'm guessing the 5th of the next month?
And
We have until
Sylvester.
the 5th. That's wondering how immediate that was.
Hold on, say that again. Read it again, if you would.
Sylvester is giving you until the 5th. Have the money or everything is lost. William.
Sylvester is Sylvester Bank, 84 EC. So, a loan?
Mm-hmm.
84 EC.
83, 85, 84.
So, that's Telegram Bank? Interesting. Yeah, Bev says, follow the money. I feel like we're on the right path. Okay, so hold on. Let's just think. Why would you be motivated to sabotage your own production? If you need, and that's why Oliver's so desperate. The show has to go on because they have to make money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't seem to me that he would try and sabotage that.
No, it's a competing interest wanting that theater.
Well, how do you get a
Perhaps.
whole lot of butts in the seats? Kill your star.
Yeah.
Or razor's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next thing.
Controversy around the
Okay, so to me, I could make a case for the director. He would kind of maybe know what's going on with the producer, possibly, or the bank.
So the Sylvester Bank?
Read the telegram again.
Sylvester is giving you until the 5th. Have the money or everything is lost. William.
So you default on a loan, and they claim they take over the theater.
Oh, so Sylvester Bank is a bank.
Yeah.
Sylvester Bank.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a person.
Not a
Not
person.
a person.
Oh, that's what I just assumed you.
well, I meant a bank, but it says Sylvester Bank. Maybe that's the name. Well, no, the S is Sylvester.
So the person's first name is Bank?
Bank Sylvester?
No, I think it's an actual bank.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're saying.
Yeah.
Bank.
Yeah.
Who's William?
William Japes. 39 Aldergate,
That
London,
guy.
EC.
Well, Japes sent it. Shouldn't we talk to Japes?
That would be the logical next step. That or
All
the
right,
bank.
hand it to me. Any?
The bank probably wouldn't give you any information about somebody's loan, but
All right. So
it-
what
it
is
could be a
what
dumb
is
bank.
Japes?
77 EC.
Nope. Nothing. 77 EC. So Japes. Make sure I didn't look this up wrong. Yep, 77 EC, Williams, Japes. 77 EC.
Are you certain you're in the EC section?
Am I positive? No, 77.
That is not there.
Okay, so 84 EC, there is an entry.
Okay.
For Sylvester Bank. Okay.
All right. Well, Matt, do you want to do that one?
It's back to me again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's go to let's talk to the bank.
Okay, here we
Named
go.
after the
Do
cartoon
you want
cat.
to read it, or?
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. We wait a few minutes before being led to the offices of the president of the Sylvester. Thank you for meeting us, Mr. Long, says Watson while shaking the hand of a graying and portly gentleman. If you're helping Mr. Holmes in his investigation, I'd be glad to give you my assistance. We're investigating the murder of William Razor. We've been led to believe that Daniel Oliver has been in business with your bank. The president is quiet for a few moments. He pinches the bridge of his nose and passes his hand through his hair. I need to respect the privacy of our clients, as assured by professional confidentiality. However, as it's a murder, I can tell you Mr. Oliver is indeed having financial difficulties. I'm afraid I can't give you more details. So he confirmed what we knew, or we assumed. So he was
See, the one thing I don't like is, like, after we find out things about a person, we can't go back and talk to that person and expect any different information.
Right.
And confront them with this information because we know they're going to say the same thing again. Because they are, after all, words in a book.
All right, so hypothetically, Oliver's the murderer. There's the footsteps. And he's in the room.
He's in the room waiting for Razor. Razor shows up. He shoots him.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Oliver left at 12:30.
Yeah. So he went into the room, did something. He would have had to come out. There would have to have been other footsteps there. But she only looks at the clock. Well, she looks at the clock every 10 minutes. Maybe she's a little off. I don't know.
At least every 10 minutes is what she said. But Oliver supposedly left at 12:30. Wow, that clears him. Dang it.
Well, Maria Leslie, John Weber, Beeston, Old Mixon, and Essex and Stanley. All these people we have not talked to. However, I might point out, Francis Stanley is the secretary. Might know something that's going on with the money troubles.
Yes.
And Stanley left at 11:45. Went for lunch. Didn't come back. For one thing, he loaded the gun with live ammo, Bev says, then left the gun in the build. So maybe it could have been Oliver. He didn't pull the trigger, but he's still guilty of murder. Could be.
Is he available to talk to?
Who, Oliver? We've already talked to him. Remember,
Yeah,
he
we
was
talked
the
to
one
him.
who said, show has to go on. Get his understudy ready.
Right.
But why would you do that? Is it strictly for publicity?
Who was his understudy? It was Wiggins, right?
Right.
So that's doesn't really get us anywhere.
No.
Yeah, shooting your star is not a way for that show to go on.
No.
At least I can't twist it into that making sense.
Other than publicity.
Yeah.
Man, we are not good at this. So there's the actress, Maria Leslie, right? Beeston.
From what we know, he
Old
would have had
Mixon.
no interest in.
Right. Maybe he discovered some shady financial deal, but I feel like we're grasping at straws. We're guessing on the motive,
Yes.
on why. We still don't have that. We know that there was a love triangle going on.
There's some opium smoking.
Right. We know that there were drugs, but we still don't have a good reason as to who or why Razor was killed.
Look at that newspaper again.
That is true.
And we don't even know how he got shot.
Well, we have the theory with the gun. Oh, who would know how to replace a blank with live ammo?
Stage manager? Still haven't talked to Essex.
Yeah, I think that's the next place, maybe.
Who that?
me.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Essex, is he there? Looking for a quick name. Yes, right here. Okay. All right.
Richard Essex is a young man who looks rather short, slim, with hazelnut eyes, throwing large, worried glances behind
Hold
thick
on.
glasses.
Short.
Right? Above,
Short,
right?
short.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Essex. So start over. Sorry.
Richard Essex is a young man who looks rather short, slim, with hazelnut eyes, throwing large, worried glances behind thick glasses. Despite his young age, the 5 years he spent on the various theater stages of the West End have allowed him to get a good reputation. I don't know what I could tell you that you don't already know. I arrived early and took advantage of that to talk about the stage and the lighting with Larry. During the morning rehearsal, I divided my time between the stage and reception. I had to manage some deliveries, and I missed part of the rehearsal. I went out for lunch as soon as the rehearsal was done. I knew that I had a long afternoon ahead of me. I came back around noon. A few minutes later, the members of the troupe started arriving. Graham was still writing, and we hadn't started the afternoon rehearsal yet when we heard the shot. I think I was the first one to get to the dressing room right after Jean Moraine, of course. Young Chaplin was there, pistol in hand, and Razor was lying on the ground. An involuntary shiver courses through the young man's body. You don't remember anything else out of the ordinary? No, I haven't thought of much else these past few hours. I tried to remember everything that happened since I got there. Oliver had just gone out. I came in and spoke with Brian for a minute, then went straight to the stage. I wonder what Oliver will decide about the play.
I thought I found an inconsistency there. So Essex, according to the doorman, came left. Yeah, we need to check that.
When does it say Essex arrived?
Essex arrived at 7:30.
Then he left at 11:15.
11:15. He came back at 12:30, like he said, noon.
But then he also said, then the rest of the cast members started to come back after me.
Which is true. Old Nixon and Weber, Leslie and Beeston, the Chaplin brothers, and Wiggins.
Okay, this is when they left.
Right.
Got it. All right.
Man, you guys are not anywhere, you are not any better than we are at this, looking at this. Yeah, the nail was in the frame from a few days previous.
1245 footsteps can be Essex.
It could have, but there.
He's short. He fits the bill for the shot.
I mean, there always is, if we're stumped, to go see Sherlock. And he'll make fun of us.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is to talk to the rest of the troupe.
Yeah, Betancourt might have some information.
And Weber and Leslie and Beeston and all them. Yeah, and we still haven't heard about the watch.
Yeah, we haven't found that. Did we have another theater in the play?
Yeah, it's mentioned a lot in that.
This one, the Covent Garden Theater. Here, let's see. Covent Garden Theater, 30 WC. You just see if there's anything even in there.
Yep.
30 WC.
Here's Covent Garden Theater.
30 WC. There is something.
That seems like that's reaching a bit.
Yeah. We still haven't talked to the director.
Yeah.
Let's talk to the director then.
All right. Betancourt?
Yep.
Would you like to read it, good sir?
Certainly.
Betancourt is the director, right? Not there. Don't see the name.
We've already been there, and we knocked on his door, and no one answered.
Yeah, it's the first place we went.
It was, that's right.
Okay.
So,
scratch that out.
So, 16?
16.
Okay, all right.
So.
That's right. That was our very first attempt, Bev,
Yeah.
was to talk to them. Talk to him.
at least at his house.
Yes.
But
So he's nowhere to be found, apparently,
Maybe he's dead too somewhere.
any longer. Yes.
Yeah, where is he? We don't know.
We have not talked to the secretary.
We could look. We can go to the Somerset House freely, which that's the records place. It doesn't cost. It doesn't cost anything.
Sure.
That's 17 WC.
17 WC. Nope, we can't talk to Sydney either. Cashier.
They got him behind bars and they won't.
Newgate Prison. Can we, where?
17 WC?
Yes.
Newgate Prison.
No,
Nothing at all.
No.
Okay.
They did
Well-
say that.
Where? Where did we say he was at the prison?
I don't know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Newgate Prison, 36 EC. Yeah, I think that was at the very beginning, wasn't it? That they carted him off to Newgate.
Oh yeah, Rob said it was in the opening storyline.
Okay.
Yeah.
all
So
right.
actually, that's where he would be. I thought he was at Scotland Yard, but no.
Crudwinks. Yes.
Yeah. So he's at Newgate Prison, 36 EC.
Let's go there.
Okay, finally we missed that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Say that again.
36 EC.
36.
Newgate Prison.
31, 34, 35, 36.
Oh.
Legal.
Oh,
Okay.
That's Edward Hall. He's a lawyer at the Old Bailey Court.
okay, that would make sense that he's there. So maybe, And hold on, Stanley Chaplin, right?
Huh? No, Sydney Chaplin.
Sydney Chaplin.
Sydney, I'm sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. Nope, there's nothing for Chaplin in here.
37 East.
36 EC.
36, sorry. Yeah, 37 is the telegraph office. All right, here we are at Newgate Prison.
All right.
Lovely. Our investigations have landed us here. My friends, I'm happy to see you, and I'm sure that Mr. Chaplin will be even more delighted. Come, let's go talk to him, Hall says to us.
All right, good, finally.
It's a distraught Sydney Chaplin who is waiting for us in a small cell set aside for discussions between prisoners and their lawyers. You need to tell the police that it's a mistake. Watson takes control of the conversation. Mr. Chaplin, we're doing everything we can. Sherlock Holmes has gone to investigate, and I'm sure everything will go well. Tell us what happened to you. Charlie and Wiggins finished your lunch. Let me read that again. Tell us what happened after you, Charlie, and Wiggins finished your lunch. All right. Sherlock Holmes, what a relief! Sidney takes a deep breath. As you probably already know, we had lunch at Punch and Judy's. Sabellini called me over as we were leaving. He asked me to tell Razor that he'd be a few minutes late as he needed time to finish his meat pie and that he wouldn't be long. We went back to the theater. Wiggins and Charlie went to see Betancourt, and I was supposed to rehearse a scene with Mr. Razor. I was a few minutes early, but I went straight to Razor's dressing room to give him Sabellini's message. I knocked on the door, no answer. I knocked again, then opened the door. Mr. Razor was lying on the bed, back to me, sleeping. I knew that we were expected by Mr. Betancourt in a few moments, so I wanted to wake him. I shook him by the shoulder. I think I scared him. I saw he had the pistol in his hand. Everything happened so quickly. He turned and the shot was fired. I tried to take the pistol away from him and he fell to the ground. That's all I know. Everything happened so fast. Sidney has become increasingly agitated as he recounts the events that took place in the dressing room. He's on the verge of tears. Watson attempts to calm him down. Before we can continue to talk, a guard comes in. It's time, guys. You need to go now. As we exit the Old Bailey, Hall puts his hand on Watson's shoulder. We need proof, my friend. We're missing pieces to complete the puzzle. So again, I feel like we should have been here with the very first clue.
Yeah.
But okay. Boy, that...
So he was sleeping on his stomach. He startled him. He had the pistol in his hand. Then what?
Okay.
Well, he had Sabellini said to tell him he was going to be late. And so did he have the gun ready for him?
Love triangle.
Okay. Well, it's a den of actors. I suppose there could be more than one overlapping triangle here. Let's see. Let me read his statement again.
Okay.
I was a few minutes early, but I went straight to Razor's dressing room to give him Sabellini's message. I knocked on his door, no answer. I knocked again, then opened the door. Mr. Razor was lying on the bed, back to me, so on his side.
He's on his side.
Facing the wall. I knew that we were expected by Mr. Betancourt in a few minutes, so I wanted to wake him. I shook him by the shoulder. I think I scared him. I saw he had the pistol in his hand. Everything happened so quickly. He turned and the shot was fired.
Okay, so hold on. He didn't say anything. He was actually going to try and kill Sabellini, maybe.
Yeah, that's what
possibly.
I'm saying. So that's who he thought it was, but it was Sidney. To give him the message about Sabellini being late.
Right.
I tried to take the pistol away from him, and he fell to the ground. And that's it.
Okay, at what point did he get up?
At what point was he shot upwards in the eye?
Yeah, he went from laying down to his last thing saying he fell to the ground. If you're lying on the bed, he can't fall to the ground.
Yes. And then there's the distance thing. Razor had no powder burns.
But the wall did.
But the wall did.
Go back to when we went through, when Watson went through his room.
We're looking for Razor, right?
Mm-hmm. Razor's room.
I must be blind.
Uh,
Razor's dressing room.
Yeah.
Watson examines the bed and lifts the cover. At that moment, something falls to the ground. Watson kneels to pick it up. It's a pocket watch chain, well, half a chain, says Watson as he looks at it. Let's see what else we can find. He looks at the mattress and lifts it to inspect the base. There's a nail sticking out, remarks Watson. It's located in the middle of one of the long sides of the bed frame. The traces on the wood are recent, and it's nailed in a day or two ago. What's it used for? I don't know. It's just a twisted nail. And what is that? Watson pulls out a magnifying glass and observes a mark on the wall just above the nail.
Okay, so mark on the wall just above the nail.
Looks like powder. There's no hole, no bullet. Watson moves the bed away from the wall and inspects the floor. Ah, there it is. Watson picks up a small round object and inspects it with his magnifying glass. What is it? A cotton stopper used for blank shots.
Okay, so floor plan. So here's the room, right? So we have the bed up against the wall, something like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now Sidney says he was lying on his side, away from him, facing the wall, right?
He didn't actually say facing the wall, but he said his back was to him.
Okay. So like that.
Facing the wall, the nail is below him.
There's the nail
nail's right
right
there.
Right.
So
So
that
the
would be
nail
why
is
that would be
here.
why there's powder on the wall above the nail, is because it's right against the wall.
Although that
Right?
the picture just got obscene.
It did.
I'm not. I already dead, and the nail and watch chain used to rig the dummy to fire. So was he
A
dead?
blank.
Right. So okay, the shot you heard was a blank, but why? But then Sydney is saying he was alive.
Yeah.
But the medical examiner said he died between like 12 and 1.
Brought in
he
earlier
wouldn't-
with the carpet.
Yeah.
Or drugged.
With
That
a
would
lot of
make
opium.
sense.
Are they Oriental rugs or carpets?
Yeah, carry a body in a rug, sure.
Or a person that shouldn't
Or a
be in there.
murderer.
Or a murderer.
I feel like we're grasping at straws here, and I'm looking at Chet, and they're like, drugged. So okay, so write it out. So tell us what you guys think, how this happened then, because I'm just not able to picture this.
Where's Newgate Prison? 36 EC. Ah, right.
Yeah, I'm just not able to. Can you reread the Sydney part?
I would be happy to.
Sure.
So coming back from lunch, Sydney says, I was a few minutes early, but I went straight to Razor's dressing room to give him Sabellini's message.
And Sabellini said, I'm going to be a few minutes late because I want to finish my meat pie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I knocked on his door, no answer. I knocked again, then opened the door. Mr. Razor was lying on the bed, back to me, sleeping. I knew that we were expected by Mr. Betancourt in a few minutes, so I wanted to wake him. I shook him by the shoulder. I think I scared him. I saw that he had the pistol in his hand. Everything happened so quickly. He turned and the shot was fired. So he rolled over and the shot was
And that's where the shot into the wall is, right? He's rolling over and shoots into the wall.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, point blank, that's where the powder burns on the wall. Okay, that makes sense to me.
And it's a blank that
And
he
it-
shoots the wall.
So
Right.
powder burn, no bullet.
Right.
Like Watson said.
Right. But how does he end up with a...
Bullet through his own head.
I tried to take the pistol away from him, and he fell to the ground. That's all I know.
I don't know.
So there's someone else in the room with a bead on him, and as Sydney turns him over, the unsub shoots him in precision shot through the eye
At the same time,
at exactly the same time. Boy, that's reaching.
or... Yeah,
They were under the bed at the time and caught their watch chain on the nail.
Wait a minute. Could somebody be...
Could have been under the bed and shot him through the bed.
That would explain why there's no powder burn.
There would have been a hole in the bed. You'd
Right,
think Watson
yeah,
would have found
yeah.
that, but it's Watson. So he misses
But
things.
even if he was drugged out of his mind and somebody delivered him drugs there, I'm still not getting how he ends up dead.
Yeah, so I can see that if he was stoned out of his mind, that Sydney could have mistaken him for sleeping.
Sure.
Someone could have come in and put the gun in his hand with him being whacked out. In that state, I don't see how the gun fires because the watch chain was on top of the bed.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm not seeing it.
So it could have been the watch chain.
You know what? I say we go see Holmes. Because
I have no idea.
Sure. It's mine, right?
It is
All right.
yours.
You get to do what you want.
You know what? We're gonna go see because it shouldn't be this hard. 42 Northwest.
Hopefully, he doesn't tell us what we already know, like last time.
Right. The nail suggests some sort of trap. I get that, but yeah. All right, here we go. So here's Holmes making fun of us. Holmes and Wiggins have come back to take tea, apparently in little hurry to conclude the investigation. Amused by our entrance on stage, Holmes interrogates Wiggins in front of us with a slightly forced, almost theatrical tone. We must recognize that your presence in that theater gives us a unique opportunity to get first-hand information on these events. What can you tell us? Holmes sips his tea and waits, just like us, for the answer. I've been part of the troupe for 3 weeks. Wiggins seems ill at ease of his role of witness. It's an interesting play, but I'm not sure that you would care much for the portrayal that Razor was making of you. Not really, now that he's dead. The one thing I've been able to notice is that while it was difficult to get along with Razor, only Sabellini seemed to really hate him. Razor and Oliver would argue from time to time, but between a star and a director, that's not unusual. There's no reason for Chaplin to have killed him. I'm convinced of Chaplin's innocence. We must carefully examine all of the clues while remembering that things aren't always as they seem. We must start from the exact moment when Razor was killed and go back from that point. He died when the shot was fired. I heard it myself. Ah, Mr. Wiggins, you always surprise me. As the theater is the place for all fantastic creations, we must separate the illusion from reality. When we have succeeded, we'll find the solution to this mystery. So
yeah, it's the
some
shot.
sort of trap. So
the shot was fired, but that's a misdirection.
Isn't there a trap room in there?
Yes. That's where they took the carpet.
All right, let's go see the carpet. Find out about the carpet delivery? I mean...
When that was in the list of things. Let's go back
to carpet
to
delivery.
And when was this
the carpet delivery? Okay, the carpet delivery from Sidley and Sons at 10:35. So hold on. Sidley and Sons. .32 Southeast. 32 Southeast. Not that it really matters where that is, but 32 right here.
All right, let's go.
Hold on. Did someone fire a silenced pistol from under the bed? But bullet in his brain suggests that a shot killed him, right?
The ME said through his eye.
Right.
Yeah, it went in here and up into there.
Right.
It went like that. So
the room under Razor's room is a toilet, which the janitor said he was cleaning the toilets.
On the first floor.
Yes.
Cleaning them with a gun?
Stubborn Bildo.
Just gotta shoot it.
Got a big rat, just decided to shoot it. Apparently that bullet just went through the floor and into the person's head in the next room.
Damn.
I feel we're just not properly tying together the financial difficulties with all the rest. Or we could go to the carpetbaggers and find...
So, the carpet, still haven't talked to Stanley. There's a few people from the troupe we haven't talked to.
Who was Stanley again? I forgot.
He's the secretary.
It could be money involved there.
Yes?
Let's follow the money. Let's go talk to the Stanley secretary person.
All right, Stanley. Would you like to read it, sir?
Sure, I'll read it. Wherever it is.
I'm looking.
All right.
Okay.
If you're here to see Mr. Oliver, he's not here right now. He's left a note saying he'd be home if needed. A man hunched over his desk tells us, "Actually, we came to see you." The man looks up and seems to be happy to get away from the paperwork cluttering his desk. What a day. I couldn't imagine that death of a man would cause me to fill out so much insurance paperwork. As you certainly must know, we're participating in the investigation of Mr. Razor's murder. We're hoping you could tell us what you remember about yesterday's events. Specifically everything that seemed odd to you. Of course, I'll tell you everything I know. I got here early, as I knew the day would be packed. I had correspondence to write, as well as financial reports about the production costs to prepare for Mr. Oliver. He arrived a bit after 10. A telegram arrived a short time later. I had the impression that the telegram got him in a bad mood. What makes you say that? I had a question to ask him, and he was drinking. I don't recall ever seeing him with a glass of alcohol in the morning. Maybe there's a link to that. But that troubled me. What else? Nothing special. Late morning, Mr. Oliver told me to go have lunch. I came back after the unfortunate event.
All right. Insurance. So that's going to get him out of... So there's the motive right there. So Oliver rigged something to where got him doped up, acted like, or somehow he killed himself.
Is there a way to take out insurance if your star actor dies in the middle of your production?
Right.
That's what, yeah. That's exactly what it is.
Maybe the legal guy would know? I don't know.
I'm looking here. I don't see anything about insurance documentation.
I'm asking myself, how close are we to going and presenting the case? Because our theory as it stands is we now have the motive.
And we know who was behind it, but we don't know the how. That's the thing. We still don't know the how.
He will want to know. Can I see the...
Yeah, he'll want to know.
The directory.
You're right. He will want to know.
Okay. The Fibrous Lizard says Lloyd's of London does just that in real life.
They do.
Of course they do.
Lloyd's of London has Jennifer Lopez's butt insured. I mean,
There you
they do all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Insurance companies.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Lloyd's Shipping, London and Globe, Pearl Assurance, Provident, Royal Insurance Co. Okay, those are all the insurance companies.
We have no reason to go to a specific one, but we still don't know the how. Okay, so let's go back. Who have we not talked to? We haven't talked to Maria. We haven't talked to Weber. We haven't talked to Beeston or Old Mixon. All our actors or actresses. We've talked to Bahrain, Essex, Stanley, and Ryder now.
Let me look in these.
And I want to go back to Ryder, talking about cleaning the toilets, actually, because it is right below.
Yeah, let's do that. He had that complicated exposition about where he was and his path through the theater.
Okay, here we go. As usual, I clean the stage.
This is the rules. Why are you yawning?
Yeah, right. I didn't have much to do. Replace the lamps in the main hall. You know what? Maybe we ought to map this out.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, it's on the facing page.
It is. So here we go. Can you? Yeah, you guys can see it.
Clean the stage.
Okay, so here we go. As usual, I had cleaned the stage and the lodges the previous evening. Everything was ready for rehearsal.
Stage and lodges.
Okay. I didn't have much to do, so I replaced the lamps in the main hall.
The main hall.
It's probably downstairs.
Could be the foyer.
Nothing later.
And I was hunting down dust. During that time, Mr. Betancourt was sitting in the auditorium and watching the rehearsal. Then I had tea with Brian in the middle of the morning. Then Sidley came to deliver the carpets, and I helped transport them to the trap room. Okay, so from here up through, okay. Then I cleaned up the large toilets on the ground floor. I put away my cleaning supplies in the closet, walked by Mr. Oliver on the phone.
Cleaning supplies in the closet. Where's the janitorial closet?
There's an insurance company mentioned in the newspaper.
There is? What's it say?
The recent bankruptcy of many mining companies in South Africa, notably among them several with ties to the London and Globe Insurance Company, have raised the question of the necessity of extra protective measures for investors.
Put his cleaning supplies in the closet.
Yeah, and then went to see Brian for lunch right before, or Mr. Oliver on the phone when I went to see Brian for lunch right before he left. Didn't see anything, nothing shady. When you said before he left, you mean Oliver? Yes, he was just behind me, and he told Brian to have a good day. He was going back home. Do you remember the time? It was noon. Must be in Brian's journal. Did you see Mr. Razor? No, and everything was locked. So how exact do we need to be? It's the ability to be able to answer questions. So we don't know the questions that are going to be asked us.
Here's the telephone room.
Yeah.
So he walked past Oliver there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's possible some of the other actors. I mean, we're already 18 in.
And we think...
Colonel Mustard.
So Oliver Oliver calls out after receiving the telegram and having a whiskey to arrange. Is the carpet delivered after this?
No, the carpet delivered's at like 9 or 10.
Okay. Carpet's at 10:30.
Hey, Paul. Don't think actors are going to shed light on the method of murder? Yeah. Love triangle angle. Cebellini was supposed to find Razor. And then use that as... I still don't see the how. I'm just missing the how. I understand the why.
When they say that phone call was again?
You mean telegram?
The phone call.
He
was on the phone.
That's a good point.
put away my cleaning supplies in the closet. I walked by Mr. Oliver on the phone when I went to see Brian for lunch right before he left. Oliver.
So 12:20, 12:30.
Yeah.
Because he left at 12:30.
I think we should go talk to this insurance company because they seem shady.
Why?
Because they're mentioned in here about a bunch of bankruptcies for mining companies that are involved with this insurance company. And he had insurance out on the guy that was murdered.
Well, I think
Maybe
it's
they
just
helped
standard.
him. Maybe they helped.
I mean, I can't really shoot anything down at this point.
There's nothing really connecting the insurance to the one in the paper, though.
That's the only one that was mentioned.
The other thing in the room, yeah, the chain and the nail. We still can't put two and two together what to make of either of those.
Mm-mm. Okay.
Come
Carpet?
on, people. We're smarter than this.
Yeah,
Carpet?
there's the carpet.
Carpet?
people.
What the hell?
Who is it? Carpet?
S&S is 32 Southeast.
Please, dear God. 32. Nothing at all.
No?
All right, we're going to the...
All right. So where are we going?
79 SW.
Okay.
73, 76,
79.
79, and that's an insurance.
Yeah.
The employee of the London and Globe Company answers happily, yes, our company specializes in the art milieu, notably for plays, but we've never dealt with a Daniel Oliver. I must admit that in the current situation, that's a good thing for us. The only other company I can think of that might have worked with Oliver is the Provident.
Well, where's Provident? All right.
68 EC.
68 EC. Might as well stay on this path, right?
Mm-hmm.
69.
68, right below it. You cool with that, Mike?
Yes.
All right.
One of the many employees of this large company confirms they do have an insurance policy for Daniel Oliver's latest production. When Watson starts wanting to interrogate the employee, the man disappears into an office. After a few moments, he comes back to fetch us and takes us into said office. I'm Mr. Carey. How may I help you? We're investigating the murder of William Razor. We wish to know, according to the contract, what are the consequences of his death. I can't give you any details without Mr. Oliver's permission, but in broad strokes, we'll have to compensate him for the death of Mr. Razor. On that topic, we're very interested in the results of your investigation, Mr. Watson. If you uncover irregularities, we're ready to reward you. That will be necessary, says Watson, to our great disappointment. So, he has a large insurance
So
policy.
it's definitely for the money then.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know how
Right.
this happened.
And
though.
he will want to know.
He will. Yes. What stone have we not turned over?
Some of the other actors?
Yeah, I literally don't know.
Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss here. Like, I mean, we could just try and solve it. Like, we're pretty sure that it's Oliver and that he rigged it, but we don't know any more than that.
Yeah, we won't be able to answer exactly how, but I think all the other pieces we have.
You ready?
Confront?
Peanut Gallery, what do you say?
Confront.
Okay, we have one for the lizard, 2, 3. Go for it. All right, let's do it. All right.
All right.
So before you get to the answers, yep.
Davo!
So we pull this out first, yes?
Well, don't pull it out. Just hold on. The questions are right there.
Who killed William Razor?
All right. So, who killed William Razor? Number 1, Oliver, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who could help us prove it?
Who can help us prove it?
There's a. The insurance man, they said, but my gut says Sabellini, but this is where the other actors, I bet you, could have told us something. I really do think so.
William Japes?
That just led us to the bank.
Yeah.
You want to go to the next question?
Yeah, go to the next
Okay.
one.
How was Razor killed?
Hell if I know. We think
With,
it was
with a gun.
right. No, we think it was rigged somehow, but we don't know how.
It's a trap.
It's a tarp.
Okay, so tarp.
Okay, it's a tarp.
Okay.
Was Sidney Chaplin the victim of a conspiracy against him? I do not believe so. I think he was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, no. Don't think so.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because it was supposed to be Sabellini, and then one of them dies, right? So no, not guilty or not the target of a conspiracy. No, just I agree with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Why was William Razor killed?
For the insurance money.
Insurance money, right?
What company would be interested in our discoveries? The Provident.
Providence.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
What are the two loves of Razor? He loves opium.
Opium.
Opium and Finley.
And Finley.
In Finley, yeah.
Opium and Finley?
Yeah. Okay.
Not Sabellini.
Well, it says what. It doesn't say who.
Well, it can't. Think of it that
Yeah,
way.
I suppose.
So Finley, opium, Nicola. Do me a favor. Let me see. Where's number 10
Yeah,
on here?
read Finley's thing.
Yeah, let's go
again,
back to Finley's thing.
What
to
number
be
was
able-
he?
I'm looking for. Let me have the directory.
Finley is here, 96 WC.
Okay, 96 WC.
Watson knocks on the door to
Right,
Ralph Finley.
just go through and... Is it Finley or Ceppolini?
I thought Sabellini actively disliked.
Yeah, they said they argued all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Few people liked Willie much. He didn't care about other people's feelings, but I can't think of anyone who would have wanted him harm that badly. He had his good sides. And then he started flirting with Dr. Watson.
Huh.
And we know that Razor and Finley visited the opium den.
Right.
Okay, so that's why we say opium and Finley. That makes sense.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, let's see. The murder of Sherlock Holmes, the sixth case. The answer number 1 is Daniel Oliver for 30 points.
Ding, ding, ding.
All right, so 30.
30.
Thank God. That offsets a whole bunch of those.
Sure
all right?
does.
Number 2 is the armorer, Goff.
The who? What?
Do you what?
The armorer, Goff.
Okay.
Let me see that real quick.
Because
The yeah.
Who the hell is Goff?
I'm looking. Who the hell is Goff?
Not mentioned in here anywhere.
Hold on, Goff. Goff.
Yep.
Who the hell is Goff?
I don't know.
Alice.
Well,
Who the hell is Alice?
Well,
Who's John Galt? I don't know.
Sherlock will tell us.
Yeah, he will.
Number 3 is he was killed with an air pistol.
What?
Number 4 is no. Oliver tried to frame Nicholas Sabellini for Razor's murder.
There you go. All right,
That's
so we nailed
30
that.
points.
All right, cool,
Woo!
good.
Okay, so number 5 is Oliver had large financial problems. He was hoping to pocket the money from the life insurance contracted with the insurance company, 20 points.
All right, we're up to
Yeah,
80.
Did it all
6
for the money.
is Provident, 10
All right.
points.
All right.
Ding, ding.
7 is Opium and Ralph Finley, 10 points.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Good job, everybody, on that. All right,
Alright,
good
so-
job.
How many
Hey,
points for
high five,
opium?
Peanut Gallery.
To tally your score, add the points obtained by answering the questions.
So,
Opium-
100.
Opium and Finley?
Yeah, that was
worth what?
10 total.
Oh, it was 10?
Yep, so it's 100.
Okay.
So we
then
got
then
0.
total the number of leads you followed, which is
Right,
20.
20 times, yeah.
Okay.
Is it 20 though?
Well, actually, no, 18. So there was no answer
No,
on the
he renumbered them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Watson used 8. Let me say Holmes used 8.
He
Okay.
always uses 8.
If you followed more leads than Holmes, subtract 5
5.
points from your score for
So
each extra lead.
60. We scored 40
40
again.
points.
40 points again, consistently.
All right, so let's read the solution.
All right.
Put this back in the envelope.
Yeah, I want to know where the hell Goff. Who?
And what the hell? An air pistol? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
They had air pistols back then? What?
All right.
All right, here we go.
Oh, yeah, the armor would have known.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
But
Yeah.
We have
What?
gathered at 221B Baker Street with Dr. Watson, Charlie Chaplin, and a jovial-looking Holmes. We're waiting for Wiggins' arrival. Our wait is short-lived. We barely settled into our seats when the door opens before Daniel Oliver, solidly held by Wiggins at Holmes' request. I'm sorry, Wiggins. I do realize I'm ruining your chance of breaking into theater. I was even curious to see how you would have portrayed me. Despite his large smile, Holmes' excuses are sincere. That's nothing, Mr. Holmes. There will be other plays, says Wiggins starkly. He pushes Oliver with a bit more strength than is necessary and forces him to sit in the rattan chair. By what right do you hold me here? Demands Oliver. Yes, Holmes, I'd like to hear the answer to that question. Inspector Lestrade is standing in Holmes' living room doorway.
he really is an idiot, isn't he?
He is.
All right.
Come in, Inspector. Holmes crosses the room, takes Lestrade's coat, and seats him in a chair in front of Oliver. Inspector, allow me to introduce you to William Razor's killer, Mr. Daniel Oliver. Oliver, really? Without a doubt, Inspector. This case was offering us a pretty setup from the start. A shot which could be heard by all, the shot of a woman, a man leaning over a body, pistol still smoking in hand, a second-quality act, but a melodrama which doesn't match reality. Young Chaplin had no motive, no reason to kill Mr. Razor. In the end, we have to rely on the facts to draw our conclusion. The facts? What do you mean? What do you call the fact that Chaplin was near the corpse when the murder weapon in hand? Inspector, did you not read the report of your criminologist? Razor wasn't killed with the Webley found in Chaplin's hand. Just that should be enough to lift your suspicions. And the extra proof found in Razor's dressing room clearly allows us to establish the trappings used to kill him, as it really is a magic trick. Proof? What proof? Asked Lestrade, irritated. The broken watch chain, the traces of powder on the wall, and the nail in the bed, declares Holmes. Holmes! Inspector Lestrade shakes his head, but before he can say any more, Holmes continues. Follow my reasoning, Lestrade. If a theory cannot explain all of the proof, then the theory isn't valid. My theory is that Razor was killed before Chaplin came into the room. He was shot, then placed on his bed. Holmes heads to the blackboard covered with a cotton sheet. He pulls off the sheet, revealing a sketch of the crime scene. The revolver was tied to the bed, held by the nail slid into the trigger guard, the barrel turned towards the wall. The chain of Razor's watch was then tied to the trigger and the pistol loaded. The sheet hid everything. Then Chaplin comes into the room and turns over Razor's body. The chain pulls the trigger, a blank is fired, causing the presence of powder on the wall, and the chain breaks. Chaplin, thinking that Razor is alive and has shot himself, instinctively reacts and takes the weapon from him. In the confusion, Razor's body falls to the floor. The scene is set for our first witness, Miss Boraine, who ends the scene with a cry of horror. Says Lestrade, who is obviously starting to seriously consider Holmes' scenario. You've caught a well-thought-out trap, Mr. Oliver. The man remained quiet during all of Holmes' demonstration. But you chose the wrong character, didn't you? Nothing of what you said proves my implication in this matter, shouts Oliver irately. I think I can find enough proof here. Holmes turns the blackboard over. On the other side, a map of the theater is drawn in chalk. Holmes pulls his notebook out from his pocket, opens it, places it in his right hand, and resumes. I compared the testimonies of the actors and of the theater personnel, and I managed to determine the sequence of events. As you know, Lestrade, Brian Smith, the doorman, has a journal of arrivals and departures from the theater. The main doors are closed when the theater isn't open, and the only open entrance of the day of the murder was the artist's entrance, where Mr. Smith is on watch. Exactly, confirms Lestrade. Oliver remains silent, but with a disdainful smile furtively appears on his scowling but attentive face. Let's examine what we know. Oliver was in his office at 11:45, which is confirmed by the secretary. It's precisely at that time that Francis Stanley went out for lunch, leaving Oliver alone in the administrative wing of the theater. Oliver then left his office with his hat, his coat, and his bag. Holmes now starts talking directly to Oliver. You went down the stairs and reached Razor's dressing room by using the exit corridor. There, you pulled a compressed air weapon from your bag and killed William Razor. Ridiculous, shouts Oliver. You have no proof. All in good time, Mr. Oliver, all in good time. Holmes continues to talk to Oliver as he details his path. After having killed Razor, you set up your trap. You then left via the corridor. Miss Boraine hears your footsteps, but believes it's Razor going into his dressing room. You come down the stairs into the trap room, going through the dimmer room and the lounge, where you stopped to make a phone call. Ryder, the janitor, saw you using the telephone. There's no harm in that, says Oliver in a somewhat less assured voice. We'll see, says Holmes. You called the person you wanted to frame, Nicholas Sabellini. Pretending to be Razor, you asked him to come see you in your dressing room. But Sabellini's lunch had just been brought to him, so he asked young Chaplin to warn Razor that he'd be late. You didn't stay there to make sure your prey was the right one. You left the theater so that you have an alibi when your trap closed. You have no proof, said Oliver calmly. You mean the murder weapon? The one you certainly threw into the Thames as you went home? You're very good at telling stories, but none of this holds up. Holmes opens the door to the bedroom and a man comes out. Yes, that's him, gentlemen, he says while pointing at Oliver. Oliver's face blanches all of a sudden. Holmes turns to Lestrade. Goff here is an armorer, and he just happens to have sold a compressed air pistol to Mr. Oliver. You, of course, still have this weapon to hand over to the police to clear yourself. All of this is ridiculous. I will contact my lawyer. Lestrade gets up, tosses a cigarette in the fireplace, and sets himself in front of Oliver with a carnivorous smile. Before that, we'll go over all of these elements together. Come with me to the station. I may need you later, Holmes. After Lestrade and Oliver's departure, Holmes pours each of us a glass of port, with the exception of Charlie, who instead gets a hot cocoa. We make a toast to the resolution of this new case. Why would he have done that, Mr. Holmes? I think his motive was of a financial nature, but I learned along the years that by looking too hard for a motive, one's attention becomes scattered and it can become a hindrance to the resolution of a case. Sometimes all that's needed to pull on the thread for the truth to come out. So, this is how he solved the case.
Okay.
Holmes solved the case with 8 leads. Newgate, Old Bailey.
Okay, going to see Sydney.
Murray.
Who?
Murray. 22 Southwest.
So let's go back to Newgate.
Yeah, so let's work our way through it then. Here we go.
There.
Okay.
So Newgate was what?
22 Southwest is the criminologist.
And we went to him.
Yeah, the Old Bailey. Right, we did. Because that's when Sydney explained 22 Southwest. It is. It's the same.
Okay.
It's right here.
So is Murray the criminologist?
Yes, it is.
Alright.
He is.
Where's Little Wiggins? The vulnerable criminologist asks us. He's busy. Elsewhere, we can...
Okay, goes to see Murray. What's the next
Mary
thing?
seems bothered to not find us. Okay. Drury Lane Theater.
Okay.
Theater Bahrain. Jean or whatever.
Right.
Razor's Room.
Okay.
Then Janitor.
Okay.
Punch and Judy.
Ooh, Punch and Judy.
That's the restaurant where they were at.
That's the restaurant where
Where they were eating.
Sabellini was.
Sabellini
right?
was there,
Okay.
and so was the
Chaplin.
Chaplin
Okay.
and Wiggins.
All right.
And
Okay.
then Armour Goff.
So somehow Punch and Judy got you to the armor somehow.
Oh, for this investigation, the lead of Graham Betancourt is free. Don't count it when tallying your score. So we got 45 points.
Oh, okay. There you go.
We didn't go to 22 Southwest. We went to 22 EC. We never went to 22 Southwest.
Correct.
The criminologist.
We didn't go there.
So, okay, so go to that and let's see.
Where's Little Wiggins? The venerable criminologist asks us. He's busy elsewhere. We've come to discuss the razor case. Murray seems bothered to not find his favorite whipping boy, but places a box on the table from which he pulls out a number of items. A pistol, a sort of long tube, a pointed stick, an oil lamp, a flask filled with some sort of thick brown substance, masculine clothes, a half sheet of crumpled paper, a small item wrapped in cotton, and change for a total of 3 pounds and 12 shillings. Murray looks down at the tube and various other items. Our victim smoked opium, patna from India. This is his vice. It seems he preferred to avoid smoking in the detestable atmosphere of opium dens. Watson examines the crumpled paper. It's a telegram form. The police found it in the waste basket. It's addressed to Jack Vernon. Have you reconsidered my offer? Murray takes the pistol and continues his examination. It's a Webley Mark I, a rather common weapon. 5 bullets in an empty chamber. Murray extracts the bullets from the charger as he talks. There's also a great amount of powder in the pistol. Any of it found on the clothing? Yes, notably on the victim's shirt. No hole, however. I was given to understand that he'd been shot in the eye. Very interesting. Murray then examines the wrapped item. What is it, we ask. Razor's pocket watch, answers Murray. The chain is broken. Part of it is missing. Exactly, but that's not the most interesting thing. The bullet, or more precisely, the lead extracted from the body. Murray picks up a mushroom-shaped piece of lead with a pair of tweezers. He wasn't shot with a Webley, but with an air pistol. Not practical, but silent.
Aha.
So we didn't go to the criminologist. We went to the...
We went to where the body was to figure it out, but it was the criminologist that knew.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There you have it.
So, 45. Not terrible.
45.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's better than our last one.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on the game, just in general?
It's a whole lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a lot of fun. It would be more fun for me if I haven't been up for a very long time and no sleep the night before. But it's it's awesome. It's so much fun. You feel so incredibly stupid, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I think Holmes is intended to make us feel stupid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
But it's pretty intense. It is pretty intense trying to unravel it.
It is.
It really is.
It's fun.
Boy, do you have to pay attention to those tiny little details.
Yes.
And we still tripped up on one here.
Yep.
Yeah, the Newcastle one at the beginning.
Yes.
Because I was trying to go talk to him and went there, but he wasn't there. He's over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Attention to detail
Yeah, the next-
very much comes into play on this.
I feel like that the more we play this, the better we're going to get at zeroing in on stuff instead
think
of
so,
like
yeah.
wandering over.
Right. I feel like we're pretty good at figuring out who and what. The why
why,
sometimes.
we're a little iffy.
No. I'm sorry. The who and the why we can figure out. It's
The how.
It's the how that we're stumbling. I'm noticing.
And the last one also, we read the solution and we were like,
Wait,
who?
what? Yeah.
What?
Right.
So the exact same thing as tonight.
So, pull on threads
Yeah.
is moral of the story.
That's
I
what
think,
Sherlock
Jim, right?
said.
Yeah. So definitely
It'll
do so.
unravel. You just have to pull on a thread.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, y'all.
I will look forward to the next one.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Whenever that
So-
happens to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Episode 7. We probably won't live stream that one. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. That was definitely a lot of fun. If you're here with us live on Caffeine, don't forget to, what's it called? I guess follow us there. Just click on that so you'll be notified whenever we do these. If you want to be notified on all our other live streams, head on over to youtube.com/heavycardboardvids and you can subscribe to us over there.
Or you can always follow you on Twitter. You always tweet out the links as
Yep,
well.
at Heavy Cardboard, and we also have our website, heavycardboard.com,
Our weekly
for the
look
podcast
ahead.
stuff.
We always talk
Yep.
about everything. So
Yep.
yeah.
So, cool. And last but not least, the 641 patrons who help make all of this possible, thank you very much. If you want to support the show, it's down there in the corner there, pledgehc.com. So, again, I'm Edward.
Sweater Mycroft.
Amanda.
And Matty Arty.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thanks, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Bye.